show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody, to Always Irish After Dark. Happy to be here. Happy to have you here as well. Oh, look at all the regulars in the chats. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a Saturday night, and listen, my number one priority on a Saturday night is watching Notre Dame football beat somebody's brains in. If I have a backup, number two favorite thing to do on a Saturday night, it's hanging out with you fine people talking about Notre Dame football, all right? There's nothing else in the world I'd rather be doing. Thank you so much for spending some of your Saturday night here. We got some fun things planned, folks. Fun indeed. If you haven't yet, subscribe on YouTube. There's a lot of people here. If you're here and you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing and what's the deal. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps me as well in the algorithms, if you will. Notifications on. You and I both know why. That way you're alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, rat. Oh, that was a juicy one, rat. Always Irish. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can locate me. The call-in lines, 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Fighting Irish Wire. Type those words in the computer box in the interwebs. Notre Dame information comes out. It's beautiful. All right. So happy to see the people here. We're going to get into the roll call in 1 second. First things first. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. All right. Be nice to your mom if she's still around. It's a free life lesson. Be nice to them while they're still around, especially somebody like my mom or my friend Pat's mom who have to deal with us for like 40 years. I mean, that's just a lot. So value your mother and let her know that while you can. So that's a life tip as we get started. If we have any mothers here in the chat listening to the show, we appreciate all that you do. And it's a very special thing. And that's what I want to say about that. Something else I wanted to mention. And the irony is, this is the ultimate irony. My brother, who I just saw in the chat, AK in here. Good to see you, Andrew. Glad you're here. Andrew is apparently live streaming the show tonight from a Florida hospital where his wife is about to give birth for the first time. So my brother, Andrew, is about to become a father to a boy. We're going to keep this, I don't have that going for me. I got a girl. Andrew's got a boy coming on the way. And I'm thoroughly excited to be Uncle Always Irish. So congratulations to Andrew. In our prayers, hope everything goes smooth. I'm assuming nothing too graphic is happening yet or Andrew wouldn't be in the chat. But that is top of the mind for the Kennedy family, is all that. And so we hope it goes well. I was wondering how it was going, but he's in here. So nothing happened yet. Either that or he's got the young kid what's the name of the boy? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. If I told you John Kennedy, would you believe it? And it isn't just because he likes his older brother. It's a family thing. The oldest man, the first male in each generation gets John Michael Kennedy. And so we just keep going down, but I'm the oldest one, but I have a girl. I don't think I got more kids in me. So somebody had to keep that lineage going. So it's going to be little Johnny. Maybe in 20 years or so, he'll be doing this show, reporting to me from a casket somewhere how it's going. Who knows? But anyways, thoughts are with them. Good luck, Andrew. If you want to live, Andrew, if you want to keep us updated in the chat, tell us how things are going. Feel free. I wanted to mention that. Something else. Just before the show, well, maybe not just before the show, but earlier today, safety Antonio Carter, Rhode Island, a lot of people after him in the transfer portal coming to Notre Dame. All right. That is very, very interesting on a lot of levels that we are going to get into, not only just of what that one guy means, but there are some unique circumstances with this that I need to investigate that are very, very interesting to me. So stay tuned for that, okay? Few topics tonight. First off, call in line 312-900-8815. And here's what we're going to go over. I'm going to go over some of Domer Guy 88. Anybody know if Carter's an undergrad? That is the interesting part of this discussion that we're going to get to. Very, very interesting part of the discussion. In fact, maybe the key part. So stay tuned for all the clarifications on that, okay? Other things of note you could call about or put in the chat. Recruiting on 2024. I have some things on that we need to get into. Notre Dame NBC TV preference, where we're going to go. Looking at that, that's still a deal. Under Armour, that deal expiring. What is your preference for Notre Dame's next move with their uniforms and apparel? I want to know what you guys think, okay? So I would love to know what your priorities are with all of those things. Do you have a mindset, certain things you're looking at? I want to know, okay? All of those items are indeed on the table. Something else I'm going to briefly mention, and I say briefly. If you were a part of the live stream yesterday morning, it got a little heated, it got a little intense, and there were a couple issues there. I want to let people know, one of the people involved reached out to me via email after the show yesterday. We had a very, very respectful back and forth about where we're at and why we had some of the issues we had yesterday. And I think we've resolved some of that, and we're all in a better place of knowing how things are going to go here and how I want them to go as the guy cultivating this environment and all that. And I think we're good to go on that. So it was just a priority to me to let people know that I feel that that got resolved in a productive, respectful way. And I think we're good to go. So, but I do appreciate people, worried about it and just wanting the show and everything to run smooth. I appreciate it. But I did get some of that covered, and I think we're good to go now. Okay. So hopefully, hey, listen, this show's always going to be edgy. That's the reason I do it. It's the reason I like it. It's always going to be edgy. We just got to keep it between certain guardrails just to protect a lot of different things in this ecosystem. So I love an animated debate and all of that. It's just there's certain places I can't go, and I hope you all understand and respect it. All right, wait a second. We got a super chat. Where's the chatter? Look at this. It's a $5 holler from the Badger and Bournemouth fan. $5 holler. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Look at this. $10 holler from Patrick. Oh boy. Bribe for John letting me tag along tonight. I might just take the $10 and not let him tag along. How about that? All right. Something else I wanted to cover before we really get into this heavy is Sunset Kid, who's a regular visitor here. John, my mom's in the hospital recovering from hip surgery. Yesterday, I showed her some of your clips where you were yelling, and she loved it. Thanks for making her day. Listen, always Irish is a man of the people. I'm here. Anything I could do to lighten somebody's day, give them a laugh, have them go, oh my gosh, you're a crazy guy, and it made me feel a little better. Hey, that's fantastic. So, Sunset Kid, hope your mom has a quick recovery. Glad I was able to lighten the mood for her a little bit. make sure you do something extra nice for on Mother's Day. But I wanted to make sure I hit that. Okay, we're going to do roll call, and then we're going to get into this, okay? Phones are open. Feel free. Feel free to dial it up. All right, let's see who we got here today. Comments are filling up. We got Newt Rockney. He's back between the guardrails. Mark with glasses, talking about scholarship amount, thinks he's at 82 or 83. Where exactly are we at? Always wondering that. That seems to move. Ready for a great show, Nick Dean. Nick Dean, it's good to be seen. Now, our foundation, the morning cruise here in the evening. C. Jones just got done cutting along with my chunky white New Balance sneakers. Now it's time for Always Irish After Dark. I'm going to tell you what. The amount of people that got a laugh out of me talking about those New Balance lawn mowing 5s that every middle-aged dad in the Midwest has 2 or 3 pairs of with grass stains around them. I got a bunch of emails of people being like, dude, that sounds mean, but you're right. Everywhere you go, you see those shoes. Oh, man. Dave Solomon, good to see you. Morning guy as well. There was no reporting or talk of Carter's visit. And that usually means one of two things. ND hit it out of the park, or it wasn't the fit that he was looking for. Yeah, it's a good get for a lot of reasons. We'll get into it. Mark with glasses. Good to see you as always. Mark with glasses. Look at Adam Dowling. Mother's Day dinner going long. Might not make it in time. Priorities, Adam. Tell your mom to eat that dessert. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Who else do we got? Freeman factor. Let's see this. Landon Carter was huge. SEC schools going after Canyon, one of our commits that a lot of people were complaining about being low ranked, gaining more confidence in this coaching staff every day. I will say this. I am not certain every move they're making is going to pay off, but I do appreciate that there seems to be a clear vision in what they're looking for and trying to do and how they want to build the roster. And it seems like they're being fairly aggressive in doing it, and I respect that. That doesn't mean it's going to work and get us over the top. But I at least like that I could see a vision and I at least see a different path than the way that we're used to. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But when Freeman came here, I wanted different. I wanted a new mental approach to how you're doing things over here. That's what I wanted. And I am seeing it. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to pay off, but at least I'm getting something different. Oh, C. Jones, thanks for being here. Yeah, ND. Domer Guy 88 every single day brings up something about Notre Dame Stadium turning red. Don't let it happen anymore. Please don't let it happen. Freeman factor 574. Can't wait to see how Jay Price is coming along. Just imagine if he could get back to his full potential. Yeah, that's a question I have, man. It's just a shame to see he went down, and that's a painful recovery, and I don't know where he's at, and I want him to come back good to go. And then that running back room it'll look good. I'm not going to act like Diggs leaving didn't hurt the depth there. I'm just confident we could kind of make up for it quickly. Yep, let's paint that house green, that's for sure. Mark with glasses doesn't like the Bucknut either. Hey, I'm glad a lot of people like that too. I lost it on the Bucknut guy, but I got a personal vendetta with him for him using my personal patio space in Evanston at my condo as his personal tailgate before the Ohio State Northwestern game. No, so I got a personal beef with that guy. It isn't just what you see on TV. I had a negative interaction with him, so I'm justified in my position, I feel. Okay? Oh, boy. Yeah. Why is Cotter blue? How did he get a wrench? He's fixing the car later. That's how we got a wrench. How about that? Jeremy Welling. USC could get all the 5 stars they want. Let's see if they can put them together. You build culture, not stars. Bama build culture and the stars follow. Don't think it happens overnight. I will say this. while it seems like a good idea to get ahead, flipping 30, 40 guys in a transfer situation. Now, I get in some instances, you might feel like you have to do it in a big regime change, something like that, depleted roster. But if the risk is when you go Texas A&M, pay for play, bring in all those egos at once, they're all making big money, blah, 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 blah. You could get a lot of talent in your building. Getting it all to come together as one cohesive unit could be the issue. You get all these guys out in Hollywood, all making fat LA Hollywood NIL money. Maybe they all think they're the alpha and they all don't get along. It doesn't gel together. We're all pulling a different way. We're not all pulling for the team. I'm pulling for myself. The more transient your roster becomes, the harder it is to maintain that culture and manage those personalities. I would love to see it blow up in their face. I don't know, but I do know this. I believe over half of USC starters on defense when we play them this year at our place are going to be from that transfer portal. They're not homegrown USC guys recruited. No. So that is the risk when you're flipping that many guys. How do you keep control of all those egos? How do you all make sure you're pulling from the same end of the rope? That's what I want to know. Who else do we got here? We are not Marshall. John must not have kids because it's Mother's Day weekend. It has grown into a 3-day event, or I just don't want to hear your mama, so I just roll with it. Hey, I have a family. I have a child. I have a mom. They want me to be here with the Irish people. They know that's my deal. It's who I am. I'm going to be with them tomorrow. I'll be with them. Give me a break. Oh, who else? Craig. Good to see you, Craig and Adam. We got the tailgate crew here. And Larry, good to see you. Larry, it is an impressive list on Carter. C. Jones, good to see you here as well. All right, Phil, it's good to see you, Phil. We got some donations here. Let me check this. Man, I appreciate that. Oh, it's Craig, a $5 holler. Jump man, you say. Johnny, don't do this to me, Johnny. Here's what's funny about that. I get the resistance to something Michigan has done and all that. I just like the idea of those iconic brands and what that logo means, like Notre Dame and Jordan. I get that. Everybody knows nobody hates Michigan more than I do. So, I don't like that part of it either. But if they offer you a deal you could leverage NIL in, that's tough for me to turn down. That's a part of this too. I'm not looking at it as a straight up apparel deal. I want NIL opportunities to be baked into this somehow. Find an angle. All these smart people, find a damn angle, okay? And then, Craig, I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but the don't do this to me, Johnny, sounds an awful lot like when I went off on Notre Dame's offensive line with the don't do this to me, Harry. That's, I think, what that's a nod to. And, Craig, I appreciate that very much. Craig also sent me a picture of a very fancy bottle of a brown substance. And I don't know what it is, but I think Craig's over there sipping on something smooth and brown. Andrew Gilmore, $20 holler. I love the Louis Vuitton bid. That'd be hilarious. On a real note, are you surprised Freeman kept the same offensive system? I don't love it. That system was often dependent on calling the perfect play. Hopefully it's simplified. How much of that's a really good question. How much of that is trying to maintain what you had going so maybe it's easier on Gerard Parker his first year at the helm at OC? Is that a part of this that like makes it easier for him because he already knew that? And I don't know. Again, I'm not the X's and O's show with that being my expertise, and I don't claim it to be. But I'm wondering if that's a part of that, maintaining that continuity. And the other thing, it was dependent on calling the perfect play. It's also dependent on making a good play. Like maybe you got a quarterback that can throw the ball around a little better. It'll be easier. Thank you for the donation, Andrew. And a good caller whenever he calls too. Oh, man. It's just cracking me up seeing my brother in here. His wife's sitting there about to give birth. I can just picture Andrew sitting there watching this show. Oh, man. Chris Conover, good to see you there. Xander Cruz, good to see you as well. Jason Smith, After Dark. Dr. John, it's good to see you, sir. Dr. John and the Irish Kitty, Saturday dinner with always Irish and a little vino and cheese for dessert. Can it get any better? That is very classy, Dr. John. Very classy, and I'm happy to have you here. Sean Singleton, what do we got? Missed you, John. Was in Miami working. Hey, at least you're in Miami for a week. I could think of a lot worse places. Jason Smith, good to see you. D-Rock Irish, check this out. Freeman not messing around. Irish get Carter in the portal for safety. Bolstering selects ND over the likes of LSU, Ole Miss, Florida, and Wisconsin, to name a few. Yep, we're going to get into it. We are going to get into it. Jay, what's going on? What has Jay got here? Notre Dame's future logo? Whoa, sorry, I don't want to upset anybody. No, look out. ND secondary just gets better with the Carter pickup today. Gotta love the portal additions. We talk all the time about Notre Dame's got to be a part of that. And it looks like they're trying to be. Badger fan, thank you. John, do you think USC joining the Big Ten and having a harder schedule that they will end the ND games to help them make the playoff? I do not. I think as much as I don't trust anything in LA at all, and it's all fake, I genuinely think they value that rivalry too. And I'd be shocked if they did that. I'd be incredibly disappointed if they did that. And I could actually argue with the expanded playoff, you have more margin for error to lose games and make the playoffs. So it's not necessarily less. I think Notre Dame could go 10-2 and make it most years now. So I don't know. I think they value that rivalry too. And if they're going to do that, let them be the ones to drop the rivalry. And then for the rest of time, we could give them a hard time for backing down to us. Deb Thomas, happy Mother's Day. Happy to have you here. Always here for every morning show, and I appreciate it. Matt Miller, look at this. Date night with the wife. We're watching this show together. Matt, I love you. I love your loyalty. I make sure it's okay with her that's what you're going to do tonight. Oh, man. Sean Singleton, Jason Smith, hi to everybody. All right, I'm trying to get caught up here with the chat so we could get going. Oh, here we go. Brian Kelly or whatever, is he back? The names are back. Kelly, Belly, Crying Belly. That's what it is. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Any super chats I missed? Then we're going to get rolling here. Here we are. $5 holler again from Craig. Craig, you've been drinking into that brown juice you got a little too much. You're getting loose with the credit card, bro. I appreciate it, and I love you for it. January 2, 1989. I like it. We need it again. We need it again. All right. Michael Ursone. Sorry I missed you this week, Johnny, but I'm here tonight. Well, I appreciate you being here. Seriously, I know it's a Saturday night. You guys have endless opportunities for entertainment. You're picking to be here. I really do appreciate it. Mark with glasses. I say give Adidas another try. Just tell them no ugly uniforms this time, but they did have a couple good ones. You know what, man? Their apparel does not impress me in any way, shape, or form. Even Adidas's golf stuff, not even football, but just like a polo. They run long and baggy. They're made for like an old guy. I don't know. There's something wrong. Nothing Adidas ever fits me. It's just an awkward fit. I don't love it. I just don't love it. So I don't know, man. None of that Adidas Notre Dame stuff ever appealed to me. There was no creativity. It was all just boring. Really boring. Look at this. BVG should be coach. Happy Mother's Day, John. I don't think I'm a mother, but like if you mean in general, then yeah, happy Mother's Day. All right. Puma does have good gear, and they run small. For somebody with my skeleton frame, I like the Puma. All of the polos run tight up on so I'm not golfing and it's getting tangled in your elbow when you're swinging with the bag. I want it up here. I like the Puma stuff. It's a good fit. It's a good fit. We got a $2 holler. Buy moms a single rose for tomorrow, Johnny. I appreciate the $2 holler. I thought you were going to say, buy a single mom with a rose tomorrow. That's a whole different thing. I don't know. I got that backed up. All right. I think we're caught up. There's a couple people on the line, and it's the time some of you have been waiting and others have been hating, but it's Chicago's very own Patrick Cotter.
I like that. Some have definitely been hating. That's for sure. That's good.
Deserved.
Oh, always. When don't I? I own everything that I do. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, and you don't have a choice. People are going to make you own it one way or the other. Right. However,
hold on real quick. You know what's funny right now? What? The thing that's like trending most in the chat about me is that you gave me the wrench. And I don't know, that seems to be bothering people, and some people like it, but I think it's hysterical that people are commenting on the wrench so much.
I didn't know that the wrench was obvious. And I also don't know if everybody knows what it means. I'm not certain that everybody knows what it means either. I don't even think
I don't know what to do with it. Like, oh, I got this wrench. What do? I don't know. My name is Blue.
Listen, if you're going to be a part of this on this level, then I'm going to give you a little bit just to be able to monitor what's going on a little bit. Don't get a dig on your britches,
I told you,
Pat.
we talked about the wrench. We talked about what my power actually is.
What are you working Jiffy Lube or what?
Real quick, happy Mother's Day to my mother, Barbara. I believe she is watching. She is in low tax Indiana, so I am not going to get to see her tomorrow, but hopefully I can get out to see her soon. And then, of course, my beautiful wife, Lauren, my mother of my 3 children, who probably hates me most of the time, but happy Mother's Day to them. And John, to your wife and your mother as well.
Fantastic. Very nice start to the show here. All right, Pat, let's start with this. I'm going to get into one little thing with Pat here, and then we're going to go to the phone lines. First things first, what do you make of the news that broke that Carter was being pursued from Rhode Island by a bunch of different programs and ended up with Notre Dame? This does 2 things for me, Pat. Number one is it helps Notre Dame's safety depth, which seems to be something we've needed our whole lives.
Right.
Okay. So it helps there. But the other part I find very interesting is that on a very practical level, that is very helpful for this team. He has 2 years of eligibility left.
Yes.
That is the most interesting part to me. So my question to you is, one, how much do you think this guy's going to help Notre Dame's depth back there and us all feeling better about it? And number 2 is, maybe more interestingly, big picture. Do you make anything out of the idea that this guy's an undergrad transfer, which is something I've been complaining about on this show? He's got 2 years eligibility left.
Yeah, but he's a redshirt junior, which means he just completed his senior year. So that tells me he's graduated. I haven't seen an article yet. I've done a little research. I haven't seen anything that officially said that he is an undergrad or a grad. I haven't seen that, but based on him being a redshirt junior, if he's getting into Notre Dame, he has to be a graduate.
Okay,
yeah.
So
Josh Miller is saying that he's graduating this month.
Okay,
yeah.
So all right, the guy graduating, he's still got 2 free years left to what?
Well, he's probably got
the NFL.
So he redshirted and he's probably got that COVID year. That's why.
That's true. That's what it is. It's that free COVID year everybody has that's coming back around. Now, what do you make of Notre Dame landing him? There were some big SEC schools getting in the mix.
Definitely some heavy hitters in there. So I think that's a good win for Notre Dame. Like I said, it's needed in the depth in the secondary. But it's always been needed. So it's definitely a big win. It shows that there are some chops there as far as getting, this kid was highly coveted. So yeah, it's definitely a big win for Notre Dame to be able to pull this kid down. But it goes back to the same problem we always have. And you and I chatted about this earlier. Notre Dame had Kyle Hamilton for 3 years, a guy who just locked down your secondary, your safety position, solidified it. You got the kid transferring from Northwestern, and now those guys are gone, and you still have this problem. You had one of the best players that Notre Dame has ever seen at a safety, and you could not fix this issue through recruiting with the safety position. So while this is a great step for Notre Dame as far as the roster is concerned, it is still highlighting the fact that there is a serious issue with the recruiting of the safety position. And not just they've gotten safeties. Don't be wrong. Notre Dame has gotten safeties in recruiting classes. We just lost one to Michigan before the kid got on campus. But also some of these kids have just been a bust. Like what they come here and they just don't see the field.
Yeah.
Like Houston Griffin, whatever happened to that guy?
The other thing is you have like one, but they never stack and roll a couple together where you have it like for a few years and it's more than one guy. And like, you got like Harrison Smith comes to mind and then like whatever. And even at like corner, Julian Love, but then like what else? And then.
Yeah, exactly. It's you get that guy. Like you have Benjamin Morrison right now, right? You have Benjamin Morrison and Cam Hart on the other side. You got two really good cover corners. You should be stockpiling talent behind these guys because when Benjamin Morrison leaves as a junior, if you have nothing to step into that spot, you're gonna be doing the same thing you're doing at the safety position. Yeah. And so and I think there's just been two misses that have been happening at Notre Dame. One, identifying their proper talent, and two, actually getting guys to come here. The guys that they do get here don't make it, and then the guys that they go after, like Peyton Bowen, they don't come. So that's why you end up in a situation where you need.
Can I give you a theory? Can I give you a theory on this? That a few years ago, it may have even been 3 or 4 years ago, I did an interview with a recruiting guy whose territory was Florida, I believe, Southern Florida. Okay. And I had him on the show. And I asked him why Notre Dame sometimes has so many struggles on the back end, getting like good elite corners and them to come to Notre Dame.
I just can't win, John. They're supposed to be in bed. And I think there's like 6 kids spending the night at my house. So I just can't win.
Well, then what a great night to do a radio program live.
Right?
Bring a bunch of kids in. What are you doing?
You know what? When you're doing your intro and you're doing you're going through all the messages, because all the kids were across the street swimming. I told you that when we were getting ready to go. And my 4-year-old came home. She got walked home. She came in the house, stood behind me on camera, and took off all her clothes. And I was like, "What are you doing? He might bring me in at any minute. Get out of here."
Are you trying to get my channel deleted? Control your kid.
I know. I'm like texting my wife. I'm like, "Where are you at?"
Cheesy Pete's. God, Pat, nothing's easy with you, man. Every time you come on, I face a new FCC violation.
That is the fastest I ever turned Frozen on. I couldn't believe I got it on in time.
All right. Back to the reality of the situation. When I asked this guy who worked for 27 Sports, who specifically covered the Southeast region, I said to him, why can't Notre Dame get these guys? Why my whole life has it been a problem to find multiple, high-level corners at the same time that want to lock down Notre Dame's field? You know what the guy told me? He told me 2 things. This is the guy who goes to all those camps, interviews these guys, who's your top teams, all that. He told me half of these guys have no idea what state Notre Dame's even in. He told me to half of them, Notre Dame doesn't even exist. And it's not even something they're even culturally aware of. Notre Dame does not register to them at all. And then number 2, hold on, I see your wheels moving. Slow it down, that hamster wheel. Number 2 is, he told me, think about the best corners they're usually alpha dogs, and they have this mentality about them that is kind of like a diva receiver, me, I'm the man. And guess what? Guess what vibe doesn't go over well at Notre Dame? Yeah. A guy that's like that, that's like, I'm the man, I'm the dog, I'm the alpha, it's about me, like that whole attitude, a lot of the best corners have, and that's not the Notre Dame vibe. The guy literally told me he sees that as a problem. What do you think of that?
Well, I think the first part of they don't even know where Notre Dame is. There's a lot of ways I can go with that. But it's geography.
Sure there is.
Geography.
Another violation.
But that's the honest to God truth. That's a reflection of the coaching staff. If you got these guys out there, if they don't know where Notre Dame is, that means you're not even trying for these guys. Okay? Because they should know where Notre Dame is at. And that's going to be a reflection on the coaching staff not going to these places where these kids exist and telling them where Notre Dame is and what Notre Dame is about. The diva aspect, that is definitely a harder thing to get around. And you're absolutely right, because some of the best cornerbacks in the history of football have been divas. They have been guys that they want to be on that island, and they want everyone to see them, and they want everyone to know their name. They're not, they're all the Deion Sanders model. And that there are still ways around that. I mean, because Notre Dame has produced great cornerbacks throughout its time. Yeah. And so there are ways around that. But at the same time, you can get, like, Benjamin Morrison, I think, is one of the best defensive backs in the country. All right.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody needs to know that's a 3 and done. He's at that level. He's going
a 3 and done. Oh,
he's
for sure.
3 and done. And everybody needs to just like accept that he is a 3 and done. Yeah,
absolutely. He is a 3 and done. That I think I agree with you. That needs to be accepted. But those guys exist. I don't need the diva. I need a diva like every 3 years. And then I need the guys I need the Cam Harts. All right. And Benjamin Morrison isn't a diva. Benjamin Morrison was a surprise because he was a 3-star recruit. But you need like the diva every 3 years. And then you need the Cam Harts, the guy to come in and they work their asses off and they turn into a Benjamin Morrison.
Yeah, it's just really interesting to me that it just seems our whole cognitive Notre Dame lives, Pat, something in that secondary has been worrisome every year. And it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter. Like, it's
years,
like,
12 years.
Okay, I got Julian Love over here. Well, what about over there? Like, I need like 2 of them at the same time. Give me 2 Hamiltons
Do you remember that Clemson game, the Clemson playoff game? Notre Dame was in that game. They had no offense in that game whatsoever.
Pat, tell him that's not true. You know that's not true, Pat. It's the first part's true. Tell him the second part ain't true.
That I'm not athletic?
I'm not.
Oh, Johnny, you are kind of a diva, but you aren't athletic. No, John is actually, I tell you what, John is one of the best baseball players in high school in the state of Illinois. He was a fantastic shortstop. And then
how much did I pay you to say that?
Nothing. Matter of fact, I paid you.
That's true.
And then golf, John is, well, he says he's like a 6 handicap. When he quit playing with me, he was trending towards like an 8, but he was a little distracted by this little show he has here. But John is a fantastic golfer. So matter of fact, John, I got a request. They want Kodak wants you to play Wild Bunch with me. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
But no, John is a baseball player. Awesome. John is a golfer. Awesome. John never had the size to play football. So we're not gonna criticize him for that.
It's true. Or the back, one hit, and he snapped it out. Nobody needs to know my medical history with the back. I got a creaky spine. All right, people, give me a damn break. All right,
John is a fantastic baseball player.
And I got that hand-eye coordination, Pat. Never goes away. All right.
Correct.
What do you want to do, Pat? You want to bring up a call here? I think people want to talk about Carter, but we hit that first. Yeah, I'm going to kind of shift back and forth. Let's go to a call. Here's the other thing we want to test you guys. The last time Pat was on, we didn't really think enough through his ability to be able to hear and speak to the callers too. So we got a different microphone system set up for Pat. And we're open that if he's going to chime in on any of the calls, you guys will be able to hear it more clearly and communicate. Yeah. We're going to see how that goes. And if it turns out that doesn't, golf is not a sport. You know who's never said that? You know who's never, ever said golf is not a sport? Anybody who's played golf. Like the only people who say it's not a sport are people who suck at it or have never played it.
Golf is so hard.
Try hitting a ball that is not moving. Hitting a 98-mile-an-hour fastball is hard. Hitting something sitting still, and you're in your own mind about where it goes. Golf is a sport every bit as much about your mind than it is your swing.
Golf is such a mental game. Which is
why
I suck at it.
That's why with my physical gifts, I never got anywhere with that. I couldn't control the rage, Pat.
Dr. John, I need another. I got a golf trip coming up. I need some time with you. You got to straighten me out.
Pat, I'm not even going to tell everybody that I used to bring golf is like ping pong. Also a sport I'm very, very
John's
good
great
at.
ping pong player. John was 4
I
years
got
in a
trophies
row.
in the other room.
John was 4 years in a row. The
4 years in a row, baby.
college ping pong champion.
4 years in a row, intramural table tennis champion. I never lost a single match. Don't mess with me. I'll drop that Chinese backspin on your face so fast. I'll let that ball ricocheting off your paddle. I will play anybody in table tennis for any amount, any day, any time, and we will record it for content. So if I embarrass myself, it's public. I will play anybody for any amount in table tennis anytime, and I'm very, very confident in that. I got spin shots.
But somebody
name it.
asked John to play doubles with you. See how that goes.
Dude, doubles table tennis is hard, man. It's really hard. You got to get out of the way and all that. Oh, man. John is the Bruce Lee of Notre Dame talk shows. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it as a compliment. I like that. All right, Pat, I'm going to try and bring up a call. Let's see what we got to say here. 618, it's a morning caller. What's going on, man?
Man, what's going on, John, man? How everything going?
Everything's going fine, man. It's a Saturday night. We're doing well. What's going on with you, man? What's on your mind? Do you like that Carter pickup? What does that do for Notre Dame, man?
Yeah, it could be good and bad. I didn't know he was I thought he was a grad transfer, but I guess he got 2 more years of eligibility.
Yeah, if he's got 2, then that helps Notre Dame, man. It alleviates a big concern. And if you could get 2 years out of it, then I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like the kid that they picked up yesterday, also the linebacker.
Yeah, what do you think of him? You know, I had some people question that. They said he was too lowly rated and they were looking at the offer sheets and they weren't over impressed. What do you make of him? Do you trust the staff's evaluation?
Let me tell you, people.
Tell the people.
When you're going to recruit kids like that, man, you're seeing can they play. We ain't heard about if they highly rated or whatever. There's not many 5 stars or 6 stars that really get, it's not a lot of them that actually make it to the league, man. We looking to put in this era. We looking to put kids in the league so we can continue to keep getting them kids coming in, man. Right now that's our only hope against NIL.
Yep.
You know what? That's such a great point though on the recruits, on the transfers. I mean, because you don't care about who cares about stars. You have something to look at. You have college film. You have these kids playing against other kids of similar size and stature, playing the game. It's not about stars anymore. It's about this kid can play football. Let's get him on campus.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. I don't know, and that's one of the big questions I wanted to throw to the group this evening was, what are your realistic expectations for these recruiting classes with Notre Dame from now on? Where do you realistically expect Notre Dame to be? Top 5, 6, 7 in the top 10? Caller, what do you think? Where do you want Notre Dame to end up? Or do you trust their evaluation?
I trust their evaluation a lot. I mean, I'm expecting a top 5 class every year, but man, if you're not if these kids coming to your school, these 4 and 5 stars, they're not moving into the NFL, man. They're not top. You don't see too many first round picks coming from Notre Dame. Kids not going to really want to go there anyway. These kids want to be developed. NIL do play a part, but man, they want to be developed as well to get to the next level.
Hey, let me ask you this. Speaking of NIL, what do you want Notre Dame to do with their next apparel deal? You want to see them hook up with Jordan or Nike? What do you want them to do?
Either the jump man or Nike, man. I mean, let's be real, man. A lot of kids want to go to Nike schools as well, So, what I mean? That you got to step your game up, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to see them.
Whatever you got to do, you got to do.
Tell me if you agree with this. I want to see them, whatever deal they end up getting for this next apparel deal, I want to see NIL wrapped in it somehow. Find an angle to use NIL with this. Wrap it in the Jordan brand. Do a bunch of promos. There's got to be an angle. That's a big priority of mine, that whatever that next apparel deal is, there's an NIL angle to it. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. somewhere, man, where either you could do it like this, like, man, some of your top players get some type of, shoe deal or something like that, or you can be like, hey, man, can some of our kids wear a different type of shoe if they can get an NIL deal with one of these shoe companies?
Yeah, it's funny though. It's like, did you see the article or wasn't an article? It was a one of those backroom board posts. And the guy said, I'm sick of this Notre Dame crap. I want to see him go with a luxury deal. I want Gucci. He said he wanted Gucci or Louis Vuitton uniforms for Notre Dame. He went off and he goes, this is Notre Dame's opportunity to prove that they're a luxury brand. And I want Gucci and Louis Vuitton. What do you think of that?
Rolex wristbands, John. Yeah. This Rolex sweatbands.
Like, man, you talking about like we want to buy jerseys, but we'd probably have to pay like $2,000 just to get a Notre Dame jersey.
Yeah, dude, that would just be, it's just wild for me to wrap my mind around. And the guy ended his thing on this board by saying, I fully realize this, I'm not going to be able to afford any of this stuff, but I'm still going to support it anyway. That was the funniest part to me. Oh, man. So I don't know, man. This should be, it should be interesting. That 24 recruiting class, aside from the transfer guy, sitting at number 4 right now. That's a good spot. I don't expect to stay there. I've learned as a Notre Dame fan, as the closer we get to signing day, we might drop. What, Pat?
Why? Why don't you? Why can't?
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, I want to hear. I want to hear why. Let's call her go first.
Caller, what do you think? We're at number 4 right now.
There?
Do you think they can hold that position near signing day, or will they drop?
I don't think they drop.
You don't?
I think I think what Freeman is going after a lot of kids that want to go to Notre Dame for all the right reasons, not to go to Notre Dame and then just to pick up an offer and then you commit to Notre Dame and then.
But yeah,
say,
but wait.
Really
I want guys to go to Notre Dame for the right reason too, but I also need them to be mostly 4 or 5 stars too. It's not just them wanting to be there.
Look at Isaiah Canyon. Look at Isaiah Canyon right now. I mean, Isaiah Canyon, man, he probably never would have ever dreamed of Georgia or Alabama ever coming after him. And now look at what they're doing. They're going after a kid that was in their backyard that they never looked at, and then Notre Dame, he committed to Notre Dame. Now they want to be like, oh, we want in on this. We want in on this kid.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And it's just, I don't know, man. You would like to see this momentum carry on it throughout the summer. I've been saying that all summer, man. I don't want no news except for good recruiting news. Everything else would be negative. Give me good recruiting news. Sign a fat deal with Nike or Jumpman. I want all good news this summer. No negativity.
A lot of this is being that Freeman and his guys have the eye for these kids before all the big dogs even jump ahead and jump on them. And, I mean, it took Isaiah Canyon to really start getting recruited by the big dogs to actually say, hey, I'm committing to Notre Dame. And they say, whoa, let's take this back.
Yeah, but now wait a second. Now wait. I've seen that work against Notre Dame even just last year. Notre Dame was on Keon Keeley early as hell. Notre Dame was in on that guy.
Yeah.
And then, we believe in you even before you're the, highly ranked, and Notre Dame's in there. And then everybody else came to the party late, and then we ended up losing them. And I almost wanted to think, where's your loyalty towards the group that believed in you the earliest?
Because that was a different situation though, John. The previous regime, they the one that jumped on Keon Keeley early. It wasn't Marcus Freeman. It was nothing Marcus Freeman could say to Keon Keeley to be like, hey, we jumped on you early, and Keon Keeley could push back and say, no, Brian Kelly and those coaches jumped on me early. You wasn't even at Notre Dame when they jumped on me. So now you got the situation is with Bryce Young and Isaiah Canyon. You can say, hey man, look here, the big dog's gonna come, but you got to remember who recruited you first and get after you first.
Yeah,
you got to remember that.
There's a good point.
Brian Kelly's situation, I mean, Keely's situation, you had the Brian Kelly staff that went after him early. And then like right after that, here comes Marcus Freeman. You know, Marcus Freeman probably did everything he could to keep Keon Keeley. But look at it now. You're going to probably stability. It's a possibility you in play for a Keon Keeley clone, which is Elijah Rushing. He's a clone of Keon Keeley.
Pat,
he
what do you
like Keon Keeley?
Pat, what do you got on
Keon
this?
Keeley?
Go ahead,
Pat.
Pat.
I was just gonna say there's a good point here because now first of all, Freeman was a defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, so he was the guy who was in on Keeley, and I'm always gonna go back to I'm not gonna judge an 18-year-old kid for the decision he makes, but at the same time, Notre Dame may have been on Keeley first, but Keeley has always. Everybody's been after Keeley from the very beginning. Everybody identified Keeley as a high target. He committed to Notre Dame early, and it was just at that point. It's so easy to recruit against Notre Dame, especially when a kid is committed to them. It is so easy to do that. That's why I like the fact that kid out of Chicago, was it Scott? Right? Is that his last name?
Yeah.
The defensive tackle didn't commit to Notre Dame. Now they're still recruiting against Notre Dame, but it's not just Notre Dame these schools are recruiting against. They got to worry about, Georgia's got to worry about Alabama. They got to worry about Ohio State. Everybody's got to worry about everybody, not just Notre Dame. And Notre Dame can just continue to grind and talk to this kid and be in the room with them and build that relationship. That's what needs to happen. And the nice thing about it now is you have a head coach who's having the conversation with the player, not just the defensive line coach or the defensive coordinator. The head coach is in the room. And let's be honest, anyone who wants to be honest, that hasn't happened in 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I don't know, man. I think it's hard not to get excited. The recruiting's trending up. If 24, and the other thing, man, whatever you do, you got to keep Williams and Carr. Those are your two dudes in that class. You absolutely have to keep them. I'm not suggesting I'm hearing they're not going to, but you got to keep them too. Those are your crown jewels in that class.
Hey, John, I believe if you keep Williams, I can probably almost, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I can possibly almost guarantee it that I think if you keep Williams in the class, you get Scott to come along with him because he's doing most of the recruiting on Scott. And then I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these shows that come on. I'm not going to name the shows. They'd be like, oh yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's a mother's boy and he's this and he's that. Man, that got to stop, man, because that's turning these kids away. Like, man, they think just because they mention our name 1,000 times that we supposed to commit. Let these kids, I don't care about him going to visit Georgia or none of that. Because sooner or later, he's going to be like, hey, man, he's going to be like, hey, Notre Dame is the place for me to be. Or he's going to say, man, I think one of those places are better off. And you got to look at it, man. Georgia and Alabama. Yes, I said it wrong the last time we spoke, John. Georgia and Alabama, yes, they probably, they putting out NIL or whatever. But you got to look at what is beyond NIL. They're putting kids in the league in first-round picks. They're not putting just kids in the league and you're a third and you're a second, third, fourth round pick. They're putting first round picks in the league. And most of these kids, their dream is to go to the NFL. They don't, the NIL is just a bonus, but man, their dream is to be first round picks in the NFL, not NIL deals.
Yeah. Nope.
NIL is short term. The NFL is the long term.
Yep. That's a good point, my friend. Hey, thanks for calling tonight, man. Have a good weekend and happy Mother's Day to any of the ladies in your life, my friend. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one.
Do you want to go here or do you want me to do it?
Do what?
This crying belly.
I don't know. What are we having a sleepover on the show? What are we doing?
Well, there's a sleepover heading up the stairs, but the crying belly comment here.
Wait. You react to it, and then I'll react to you.
Okay.
Go. You're all excited.
I know.
Go ahead, and then I'll do my thing. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with this comment. You have to win now. You cannot sell calibration. I totally agree with this comment. My problem with the comment is there's an assumption built in, and I'm basing this assumption on this guy's past comments that I've seen in other shows, that's not what Marcus Freeman is trying to do. And I think if you look at what he's done to this roster this past 6 months, this is exactly what he's trying to do. He is trying to win now. He needs to win now. He knows he needs to win now. There is huge pressure on him to win now. Probably more pressure on him in his second year than any other Notre Dame coach has had.
Here's how I look at this, Pat. Crying Belly is a good name. I got it. It's just simple. You switch the letters. I love it. That's beautiful. I give you credit for that. Here's the way I've been talking about this. I believe there's 2 ways to get this done, Pat. One is you win elitely on the field, and then people are going to be interested. More guys that usually aren't interested are going to become interested, okay? If you win elitely, and elitely isn't 10-2, you lose to the 2 best teams you play.
No.
That's not my damn definition of elite by any sense of the phrase. So you can either find a way to take what you have now, coach them up, good luck, get the most out of them, whatever, catch a break, and win elitely, and then the talent will find you and become more interested. Or you got to sell. You got to be so good at recruiting. You sell the elite guys that if you come here, you're going to be the ones to get us to that point. And then once that is, then you're rolling. Now, Pat, wait, I ain't done yet. This is one of my main points. Here's what I've been saying, Pat, before you used to join this program, where Notre Dame has been firmly stuck in between those two. They have not fully been able to load up on enough high-end guys to get those immediate results. And they also haven't been winning elitely enough that it draws them that way. You can't live in the middle forever. And we've been in the middle. Not good enough to draw them in off the results on the field. But not able to recruit a bunch of 5-stars to get them in early and then do it that way. You can't live in the middle. Pick a lane.
No, and here's the thing. I thought when Stephon Tuitt, I'll wait.
You don't have to wait.
When Stephon Tuitt and Aaron Lynch committed to Notre Dame, I thought that's when I was like, man, this guy can do it. He is getting the guys that Notre Dame hasn't had since Lou Holtz. He's getting the defensive linemen. He's getting the ends. He had Louis Nix, Stephon Tuitt, and Aaron Lynch on the same roster. Think about that. He had those 3 guys on that. If people don't remember Louis Nix, who dearly departed, he was the best defensive tackle in the country that year. He couldn't be stopped. Even in the Alabama game when they got blown over, you know what Alabama's game plan was for Louis Nix? Whichever hole he blows up, we go the opposite way because Notre Dame had no linebackers to fill that hole. All right. That's how great Louis Nix was. And it broke my heart that he was too lazy to make it in the NFL. But I thought Kelly had it. He's like, he's getting the guys you need to win. But then after Eddie Vanderdoes transferred, he didn't go after those guys anymore. He got one of the best defensive tackle prospects in the country, and the kid immediately transferred to UCLA, never played it down at Notre Dame. And then he never went after another one of those guys again. He never had one of those guys. And he just didn't go for him. And so I had such high hopes on the Keeley recruit because he's that level. He was that level of a guy. And I think Notre Dame there's 2 ways to fix this. You got to get lucky and win it. And then these kids are going to be like, well, hell, they're doing it there. Let's go there. Or you got to get one of those guys and have him succeed at a level at Notre Dame that makes other guys open their eyes. And that's so there's 2 paths. You got to figure out one of them. You got to do it quick. That's why I have such high hopes when he goes after a Keeley or a Scott, because if you get one of those guys, more will come.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Credit to him, though. Sorry, John. Credit to him, though, because he's not giving up. He lost Keeley. He's still going after those top flight guys.
Yeah. Well, the other part of it is he would have played right away. Like a lot of my defensive front worries I would have had, you wouldn't have had. Like you would have had that guy there. Again, if you had Bowen, your safety issue you feel a lot better about because he would have played back there right away. That's the difference those top guys make because when I say that I'm more worried about our defense than offense next year, I maybe wouldn't have those worries as much if I could plug Keeley in there. And then you know what else I like, Pat? And Notre Dame does not have this enough, and they're getting into it with Freeman. Here's what I like when this happens. You're used to what you have in these classes. Okay, you know what you have in these sophomores and these juniors or whatever. Where you really make hay is bringing in young guys that disrupt that hierarchy right away. Yes. And even if they don't end up fully taking a guy's starting spot, they're pushing everybody. And nobody wants to be a sophomore or junior and knowing this freshman, you know when you're an athlete, you're like, oh, crap, this guy's coming for my spot. Absolutely. Even if they don't win it as a freshman, they're pushing you to be better than you were. Like, that's what I want Notre Dame to have more of. Those are those guys. That's why I love what Greathouse is doing right away. Out there in blue and gold, running around. You're going to need him off the roster. It ain't even going to be a luxury. You're going to need him.
Yeah, and he pushed Styles off the roster. I don't care what anyone says. He pushed Styles off the roster. I was going to go play defensive back. No, he wasn't going to go play. I mean, I would have been all for it if he wanted to play defensive back, truly wanted to play defensive back. He's going to play it at Ohio State, but don't forget his brother goes to Ohio State. So it's not like, it's not like that was that big, Greathouse pushed that kid off the roster.
Yeah, and it's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem. That's what bothers me about people complaining about the transfers. Everybody who transferred from Notre Dame this year, they left because there was somebody better than them that wasn't on the roster last year.
Yeah.
Even Buckner with Hartman. Hartman was not here last year. Buckner was the guy, and someone is on the roster better than him. So everyone complaining about the transfers. I don't like losing Logan Diggs either. Logan Diggs is a good running back. But I promise you, the reason he left is because someone is better than him.
But wait, there's two different parts to this, Pat. There's a practical depth chart part, meaning, no, I'm not going to tell anybody that losing Diggs isn't a ding to the depth chart of that group that we loved. It is indeed a hit to that depth that is a little bit not ideal. However, I could argue, my two favorite words on this show, Pat, that I can actually put on air are that I can actually air and keep it family friendly are philosophically and existentially. Those are my two favorite Notre Dame realms to discuss every day of my life is Notre Dame existentialism and philosophy, Notre Dame football. Follow me here. Yeah. Certainly, that is a hit to your depth, and you don't like it. However, philosophically, big picture, I think it's a good sign. And you got to look at that bigger picture, even though it makes me a little iffy if Estime twists an ankle. What we're going to have is the 1-2 after that. Bigger picture, people got to see they're losing the forest through the trees or whatever that dumb phrase is. Don't look at what's just right in front of you. Look at what this means, bigger picture. You're disrupting the flow Notre Dame is used to where freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you're bringing guys in there that are mixing that all up. That is freaking progress. All right.
Right.
Pat, let's look at this. It's a $10 holler from BBG should be the coach. And I know that's
John, what's my cut on the super chats? We never discussed that. What's my cut?
Your cut is that for every hour
are you finally gonna buy me a beer?
No. Your cut is every hour you're on here, you give me another $10. Keep it going, buddy. Pony up. No, let's look at this. It's as interesting and factual. I do feel the pressure is on Freeman. Do you think it's due to high hopes? The fact that it's been so long Cincinnati, or what other reason, or a combo of things? Do you want to hit that one first, or do you want
Brian
me
Kelly? To? It's 100% because of Brian Kelly.
In what way?
It's because he is replacing a coach who, being all fair, Brian Kelly raised the standard. He was a 9-10 win coach at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman did not win that. And so all of a sudden, Brian Kelly leaves, and then you bring Marcus Freeman in as the savior. The fanfare that surrounded Marcus Freeman when he became coach was impressive. I haven't seen a coach. I'm only 39, so I've only seen so many coaches hired, but I haven't seen so many people outside of some your people in your chat here, so wanting him to be the guy. So he came in with an expectation, and that expectation was all about his recruiting, and his recruiting hasn't been great. Now, it hasn't been great because he's dealing with something that Notre Dame wasn't ready for. He wasn't ready for as a coach. He's got to learn on the job. He's got to figure out NIL. Notre Dame has to figure out NIL, and their solution to NIL can't be doing a article in the New York Times. All right, they have to get in the ball game if they're going to stay alive with this. Okay, at least until I was born in '84. At least until something actually does change with the NCAA. Now, so that's where the pressure comes from, because all of a sudden he's replacing a guy who left Notre Dame, the winningest coach in the history of Notre Dame, left. Now, as for all I cared, guy didn't win a damn thing that mattered. All right, and every time he lost, it was in the worst fashion you can lose. So adios. All right, but still, there's a lot of people who were hung up on that, and so that's why the pressure is so stacked up. His recruiting and the fact that he's replacing a guy who left Notre Dame. That hasn't happened in 100 years. So that's why the pressure is on Freeman.
Yeah, and here, man, I'm a little disappointed because one of the angles I wanted to go in recruiting, you just kind of stole from me. So, I'm mad at you for that. But one of the questions I had was, when I got asked, John, how could you, as wound tight as Notre Dame as you are, how could you be okay handing the keys over to a first-time head coach? That I've had a lot of people, Pat, say that doesn't seem. Somebody put 1879. Are we that? Do we look that old? Even Pat don't look that old.
I don't know. I got the widow's peak going, so it's receding.
But what I was gonna say is, the reason I was okay with this with Freeman was because I found him to be exceptional in two areas that I value the most. Personality and the way you navigate everything at Notre Dame. It matters more at Notre Dame how the head coach moves, how he treats people, how he delivers. All of that matters more at Notre Dame than a lot of places. Everything I've heard about his interaction with the administration, everybody loves working with him. They bend over backwards. They want to help this guy out. So one of it was a total sea change in how Freeman carries himself compared to Kelly day to day. It is night and day in every sense. I like that. I thought Notre Dame was getting stale. It felt stale when I was over there. It was just time. But the other part was, Pat, the elite recruiting had to be tied to it. And when I was doing this show last summer, I was saying, if we're trusting you with that Golden Dome and you don't have experience, that is a big risk. You got to hold up your end of the deal with that. You got to get that recruiting elite. And that was the biggest selling point. Now, here's where this gets tough, Pat. Brian Kelly did not have a lot of the same hurdles to clear recruiting well at Notre Dame. I would imagine Freeman would have done a lot better 3 or 4 years ago before NIL recruiting at Notre Dame than he could do now. Look at what happened in the last class. But my question is, wait. How do you balance knowing people are doing pay for play and that it's dirty with me still wanting to hold Freeman to that elite recruiting standard, but knowing he's getting undercut by pay for play? Like, that backs Notre Dame, Freeman, and me and you up into a corner. Do you still hold that recruiting philosophy's got to be 5, 6, 7 every year? How do you get there battling this pay for play we're not going to do? How do you convince the top guys to not go for that and come here?
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You're either going to fold up and roll down and play Eastern Illinois, or you are going to get in the game. You're going to get in the game. You have to. And I think there is movement. Oh, Adam, welcome back. Hey, Adam, I need a parking pass to Central Michigan.
Yeah, you and about 5 others, because, Pat, we're having the biggest party going on at 9 a.m. in that town, baby. Pat, this is going to be a big situation. Do you know how many people I've talked to that want to make that a thing? We're doing it.
I know. Tangent time real quick. My dad hasn't gone to a game since he had to park in the white lot the first time. He said, I will never do this again. This was before they actually had the shuttles working and you had to walk it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I will never come back here again. Every time I've come to a Notre Dame game, they have pushed me farther away from the stadium. So he's like, I will never come back again to a football game. And this is a guy who went to 4 games a year for probably 40 years. Because I have 3 brothers, so he would take each of us to a game every year. And he said, I'm not going back again unless I can park in the stadium lot.
That's funny as hell.
Drives my wife crazy. She rolls
Wait
her
a
eyes
second.
every day when I listen.
Crazy in what kind of way?
Do it.
Crazy in a good way or crazy in a bad way?
I know. What does that mean? Ooh.
Yeah. Are you going to define what kind of crazy? Hey,
I kind of like where this is going.
That's right. $5 hour. Now. I appreciate it, Ryan. Hey, listen.
Dark now.
Pat, you know what I tell everybody? When I do these streams and then I go back and go through them to cut out the best parts to make the short videos or littler videos. Do you know how sick I get of seeing my own face and listening to my own voice? Good Lord, I'm so sick of it. Just, it's so annoying, but what are you going to do? It's me. Oh,
this right here, that bothers me. That's why I don't like to watch it.
It should bother you. Sit different, and it won't look as bad. Sit different.
Oh, okay. My wife's always telling me my posture's wrong. So
whatever you say, turkey neck. Andrew says
no baby yet.
Andrew says no baby yet. Man, that's
Come on, A. What were we talking about? I totally lost my train of thought. Somebody put in the chat what the hell we were talking about.
Wait a second. Now I forgot what the hell
turkey neck, dude. Not my turkey neck.
Yeah, no, we weren't talking about that.
Not like a gobbler.
Now we got the gobbler. Look at what I started. Yeah, look at this. Matt Miller says it's the Always Irish Baby Watch episode. Yeah, you know what we should have done? Had Andrew stream live and he could just zoom in on the play-by-play. Oh, my God.
That is one for sure I don't think YouTube would allow.
Couldn't be any worse than your first performance here. You know I love you, but there's just certain stuff I got to get you with. Hey, and you want to know what else, Pat?
That was fantastic.
Dude, you want to know what else? I'm going to make fun of you for your chair. You got such a nerd alert chair. I am ready to rotate. I have neck support. Me. What a dork. Get a real chair. What do you need that for? So you could fall asleep.
This was a gift for my wife. I work
kidding,
at home.
Lauren. I love you.
Hold on, my mom.
Great gift.
Me. Oh, my mom just texted me. My mom just texted me parking at ND.
Wait, that's what we were talking about.
That's
Thanks, Mom. Wait,
Thanks,
we got all these people in the chat, and your mom had to text you the answer?
Had to text me.
That's beautiful.
Thanks,
Barb,
Mom.
I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Mom,
Happy Mother's Day. That's hilarious. All right, so your dad doesn't want to walk.
So that's why I need a parking pass so I could, because I'm bringing Central Michigan. I'm bringing my oldest daughter to her first Notre Dame game. She's 9, so she gets to go to a game now, and I want my dad to be there as well. So he's not going to go unless I get a parking pass for him. So I need someone to hook me up with the parking pass so I can bring my dad.
Here's what we're going to do. The next week is Ohio State. I firmly believe getting passes in the lot we want for Central, it isn't going to be impossible.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be hard. I don't think it'd be hard.
But what we're going to do is we'll get all this figured out this summer and let everybody know. But anybody who wants to make it to Central Michigan, we're having a tailgate and it's going to be fun.
My mom just texted me again. Get him out of the house.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Pat, let's bring up another call here.
Yeah, let's go to a caller.
Happy Saturday night.
John, what's happening? Pat, what's happening? I think, Pat, this is the first time we're talking. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms watching and listening on to the show.
What's going on, man? Thanks for calling. You had a really in-depth call, I believe, the last time we talked, and it was really heavy, good stuff. What's on your mind tonight? Do you like this Carter signing for Notre Dame in that secondary or what?
I don't know if I feel very strongly about it. I think I'm pretty indifferent. I think, you guys talked a little while ago about not being able to recruit defensive backs traditionally at Notre Dame. And on the other day when I had called, I had mentioned about precise recruiting and recruiting student athletes that have gone elsewhere. What about Richard Sherman? What if the 2018 team had Richard Sherman? How would that have panned out?
Yeah, well,
Richard Sherman of the
Richard Sherman. Well, yeah, but I mean, what's your angle with that?
I think my point is that the athletes are out there for the taking. Could it have been Kelly's lazy recruiting? Could it have been the administration holding them back? I'm not really sure. I guess we won't know. But John, I did email you earlier today. You emailed me back, and then I sent you an email about some topics I'd like to address. I don't know if you saw my second email, but I really like to talk about the 9 games that are very, very winnable this year outside the big 3. I did a little in-depth research about recruiting for 23, 22, and 21 for all 12 teams on our schedule. But 9 of those teams, they're really not very good, man. And I think that solves a lot of issues for us in terms of holding on to players that would be tempted to go to the transfer portal if our schedule was much tougher. And I say this because we should embarrass these teams. We should be up big time. We should have our second and third stringers in. Our freshmen and sophomores should be gaining that experience. And for those that have a desire to leave, well, then they can go because there's a way to resolve that, and that's strong recruiting. I'm very confident with Freeman. He's got that positive energy, and I think the schedule sets up really nice this year.
Pat, tell me if you agree with this. And caller, I love this. Let me say it to you this way. There are a lot of advantages of you being able to pilot on a team you have way more talent than, and then being able to empty out your bench, halfway through the third quarter, whatever. There are a lot of advantages to that. Resting your starters, whatever, letting other younger guys get more action so they're ready and all that. But what I think doesn't get mentioned a lot is that mentality. It's a different mentality when you are going in trying to beat the hell out of somebody that everybody knows the game is over and a joke, beep, beep, take off and go home early. That builds a championship mentality. When you're able to steamroll like that, it builds a mentality of it isn't just good enough to win. And in the fourth quarter, I'm out there trying to preserve this win. We're going to steamroll you and embarrass you and then let our younger guys play. That is a mentality. And so many games in the Kelly era, I sat there mad going, dude, we should kill these guys and we win by 6.
Down.
Half my hair falls out.
We always played down. We always played down. And to be fair, Mark Freeman's team played down as well.
Why do we play down? I'm asking Pat and I'm asking the caller. Why did Notre Dame historically play down? Why was that a thing?
I can't. I'm not at the point where I could say why Freeman's teams, dumped the bed against Marshall and Stanford. I will say that, and you won't be surprised to hear me say this because you and I talked about this. Has anyone ever seen Brian Kelly give a rah-rah motivating speech?
I've seen him do it, but it was manufactured.
I've seen him try. Yeah, exactly. It's a try to do it.
Yeah.
There's no Lou Holtz in the locker room and saying save Jimmy Johnson's ass for me.
No,
there's none of that.
It was manufactured.
Never any of that.
The proof that it was manufactured, Pat, is that we had one coach but 3 different personalities. We had Purple Face, we had BK Homeboy, and then we had Back Off CEO.
Right. The only time
Brian Kelly was the same guy with 3 different personalities here, and I'm still not sure which the real one is.
Right. The only time that guy ever got animated was when his face turned purple.
Caller.
Brian Kelly's a touchy subject to me because I still don't know where I stand with Brian Kelly. Unfortunately, I think the next couple of years are really going to sting. The other day when I had called you, you had asked me, if not Freeman, then who? And then I responded with, I don't know that Freeman or the coaching is the problem. I think Jack's the problem. And then you responded, well, it's more than Jack. It's a perception issue. I hope that's not the case, but I did email you today. And in the email I said, I believe Kelly being successful at LSU is critical to ND winning a national championship. And I also said that's a stretch, and you're going to think I'm nuts for making that statement. But you know what? If he goes on to win 2 in the next 5 years, which I think he could, I think we're going to have to look ourselves in the mirror and go, we messed up.
No, wait. All right, I got to push back on this. I know
you were gonna.
I'm
ready for you, John.
All right, I have to. This is beautiful, though. God, there's nothing I'd rather do on a Saturday night. I love this so much. All right, here's how I got to push back on that. LSU and Notre Dame do not operate the same. Brian Kelly could put in the exact same effort he did at Notre Dame and get better results out of it at LSU because of a lot of reasons. Not that anything's better or worse one way or the other, Notre Dame or LSU, but they function and they build themselves differently. I'll give you a couple examples. Kelly didn't even like to get on Notre Dame's private jet and fly around and recruit. At LSU, within a 200-mile radius, he could recruit right there. Half his recruiting class they're going to LSU no matter who the coach is. It's not a tough sell. Academics are not as stringent at LSU for football as they are at Notre Dame. They're much more out front and willing to do NIL stuff than Notre Dame. So even if Kelly does great, nobody could tell me if he was still at Notre Dame, that proves that he would have done it. No, they're built different. And Kelly knows it. He could do the same half-ass recruiting and get better results out of it because how LSU is built different. They're not comparable. They're not. And then I'll ask you this, caller. How many decades am I supposed to give Brian Kelly to get over that hump? Have I not given him enough time to prove he could do it? We're going on like a dozen years. How many more decades do I got to give Kelly? Every year has one blowout. How many decades do I got to give him to figure it out at Notre Dame? If he wins at LSU, I am not going to say, oh my God, it would have happened here. He had every opportunity to do it. And every single person with connection to the program told me he refused to get off his ass and recruit. That's unforgivable.
I mean, I can start with get off his ass because if we look at the last 3 years to Notre Dame, and now Freeman recruited for 2 of them, we're looking at the number 12 recruiting class of 23, the number 7 recruiting class of 22, and the number 9 recruiting class of 21, which Kelly was there for. Now Kelly's also hit 5. He's hit mostly 10, 11, 12. He's been in that upper second tier. And again, you made the comparison about the accessibilities he has at LSU. Their less stringent recruiting program. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily a Brian Kelly issue. It's our issue. It's not just the academic standards because again, I named Andy Luck, Bryce Young, Richard Sherman. Brandon Joseph, there are other talented players. The kid Donovan Edwards at Michigan that we were going after, Will Shipley. There's a lot of high-end talent, smart kids we've missed out on. And I'm wondering more than just academics because there's plenty of smart kids that used to go elsewhere. And that's a concern of mine. And I think if Brian Kelly's successful at LSU, I don't think it's a reflection of the coach per se. I think it may be a reflection of the institution itself and the stringent policies they have in place regarding their perception. That's my concern.
And that's tough though. But because that's a bigger picture. That's a lot tougher than just being mad at one coach's style or another. Because that's a whole infrastructure thing in place. Pat, what do you think about that?
I think he's got a point. Obviously, he has a very fair point here because this has been the long rumored issue with Notre Dame. It's the academics. It's the fact that kids have to go to class. It's the fact that you have to live on campus.
By long rumor, do you mean since the 40s when they put the governor on Frank? Like, it's that long, Pat. They put a governor on Frank Leahy. They told Leahy to slow it down because they didn't want to turn it into a football factory.
It's always been the knock on Notre Dame is that the academics are too hard. These kids can't get into school. The kids don't want to live on campus with other students who aren't football players. The kids want to, you know, they all can't take calculus. There's always been, nobody wants to live in South Bend, Indiana in the winter, which, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with that one.
Or in the spring after being at that game. April, yes, too. Not only the winter, April was bad enough.
All of this, right. And John, you just said it. This is all has been in place for the last 70 years. This has been a thing for 70 years since Frank.
Oh, why?
Right?
Why?
How many national championships did Notre Dame win?
Yeah. But
Lou had this problem.
70 years
but you can't. But you're comparing times where there was like 4 schools who got all the talent. If you go back that far,
no, sure,
like you got to accommodate for that too.
In 1988, there weren't 4 schools that had all the talent. Matter of fact, the team with more talent came into Notre Dame, and Notre Dame won. All right. Same thing in 1993 when Lou Holtz got screwed royally because Bobby Bowden needed to get a national championship. F that guy. All right.
They shouldn't have lost to Boston College at home. That was a disgrace. I watched that game. I was heartbroken. That's the year I first started following. That set the tone for the next 30 years, man. 30 years of heartbreak. I've always watched them melt down, whether it be Miami, Michigan. It could be a Kelly thing. It could be a Weiss thing when they got blown out by LSU in 07 and lost a heartbreaker at home to USC. It's the past 30 years have been a disgrace. And I just think, like I said, we need to self-reflect on the administration. And you know what? Other schools are getting it done. Other equal academic schools are taking in high-level talent. What are they doing to accommodate those players?
Wow.
That's the question that needs to be addressed. And I think we need to continue to hammer that home because I think we're all in the same boat here. We all want to win, right?
I mean, I'm going to disagree with you that Vanderbilt, Stanford, Duke, Northwestern,
Michigan. Sorry, that one might sting.
Yeah,
they're a smart school. They're up there.
They do not hold the academic. Unlike Notre Dame, they do not hold the academic standards to the football team that they do the rest of the student body.
Yeah, but I mean, even Notre Dame has a little bit of leeway. Like,
agree.
Even Notre Dame's football players do have some leeway, but it's kind of a much higher standard than it is a lot of places.
So here's my thing, caller. I think you raised an excellent point, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I think it needs to be addressed with the university as far as transfers that they don't let it's so hard for a kid to get in who isn't a graduate student. That's the part of the academic side that I have a problem with. What was the line from Kelly for years and years and years? We got to shop down a different aisle. And all of a sudden, Marcus Freeman becomes the head coach, and he's got a soft verbal commit from Dante Moore, who's probably the best quarterback in that class. He's got a hard commit from Peyton Bowen and Keelan Keeley, some of the 3 best players in that class. Now, did they get all of them? They didn't get any of them. So there's a different problem with that. But Freeman shows up day one, goes after guys that Notre Dame couldn't get, according to Kelly. They weren't in his aisle. He couldn't put them in his shopping cart. And all of a sudden, they're in Freeman's shopping cart. Now, Freeman's got to go and win those battles. He's got to prove he's got what it takes to win those battles. But Notre Dame, I don't believe it. I do not believe, and I will not accept that these kids can't get into the school and these kids don't care about their education. They just want to go to South Beach, play football, and look at ass. I don't believe that to be the case.
Yeah, it's.
I don't believe it either. I think the university has to come up with a clever, innovative way to attract those players and make.
They did that
and make certain selling points.
They did that
to attract those players, and to kind of go back on what you said. Those top tier football programs, they do that to each other all the time. It's an absolute shark tank. Pay for play has always been the case. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, there's a reason why they're always the top 3 schools and they each other's players all the time. And you know what? They get over it. Want to know why? Because they get the next best 5-star.
Yeah.
So I just think we need to self-reflect.
Here's the other thing.
Here's
the thing, man. While Notre Dame has its challenges geographically, none of us could change the South Bend weather. Geographically, the academics, all of it. Notre Dame has a lot of challenges. However, Notre Dame has a lot of unique advantages, and I don't feel like they tap in. I do not feel like Notre Dame is fully used all of the advantages they could have and like really
100%,
highlight them
John.
and push it, I feel like there's so much more meat on the bone that Notre Dame could use to promote. Like, I'll give you a really good example. Notre Dame's got to have one of the most impressive databases of alums who are now sitting in boardrooms at multi-million-dollar companies all over the world. They got all these people in power positions. I don't feel like we utilize a lot of the unique strengths that we have and fully make them work for us instead of against us. And I want to
ask you a question, John.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I agree with what you're saying, but my question is this: do they even want to?
It's a good question. I'd like to be a fly in those boardrooms and try and find out.
They
I know.
Even, sorry, I missed that. Even want to what?
Because they had players with an edge. Like,
Yeah.
do they even want to? I think if they wanted to, they could be Alabama. I think if they wanted to, they could be Georgia or Clemson or Ohio State. I think they've got this. And you use this. I'm taking a page out of your book. Wine and cheese mentality.
Yeah.
And it, 10-2, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe we can get there. But we're still really smart at the end of the day, kind of thing. We're the good guys. Like, if they did what you just said and opened it up, I believe that they can be successful. And I think in order to make that happen, just like the origin of your podcast. You started your podcast because they were horrible at 4-8.
Yeah.
I've been here since day one, man. I listened to your podcast since they were 4-8. Your podcast was angry. I said, you know what? I like this guy. He's not me. And I've been following ever since. I think the only way to combat and defeat their frustration is to blow them out. You got to talk about it, man. You gotta air it out. I can't wait until post games this year because I'm going to be calling.
There you
I'm
go.
Going to be complaining. I'm usually very positive.
You're not going to be complaining because we're going to be winning. We're going to be winning. You ain't going to have to complain. You're going to call me in and go, look how good Hartman was. You're not going to complain.
I think you made.
I'll be drunk with Pat that much.
Yeah, there you go. What's up, Pat?
I think you made some excellent points there.
Yeah,
and I think you're hitting a nail on the head. I want to rewind the clock a little bit. And I want to go back to 1985 when Notre Dame hired Lou Holtz to be the head coach.
Good. You do that while I go use the facilities. Go ahead, Pat.
Okay. So Notre Dame hires Lou Holtz to be the head coach. What does Lou Holtz do his first time at Notre Dame? He says, I got to be able to get guys into this program that can win, because that was the exact thing. Notre Dame had standards. They said, you got to be able to do this. You can't get into the school without this. And so Lou turns around and he gets the administration to agree to let guys like Tony Rice into school who couldn't cut it academically, but they had the potential to do it. And so Notre Dame lets Tony Rice into the school and a bunch of other guys. I think Chris Zorge was one of these guys, if I remember correctly. And they turn around. They cannot play. They cannot play their freshman year at all. It is not allowed. All right. This isn't NCAA. This is the Notre Dame administration saying, we'll let this kid into school, but he's got to prove himself academically before he can see the football field. And then Tony Rice comes out as a sophomore and wins Notre Dame a national championship. Okay. And that was a kid who he worked his tail off, got the grades, proved the point he can get the grades, and he won with Notre Dame. And there were so many other kids and those teams from 88 to 93 that were the same way. What changed? Monk Malloy. He came in, we ain't doing this anymore. They got to either make it, they got to be able to come in and be and have the required requisites that they need, or they're not coming in as well. Yes, Prop 48. Thank you, the Hart Foundation. That's exactly what it is. And why Notre Dame stopped doing that, I will never understand, because the whole purpose of Notre Dame is to give a kid a chance to prove themselves and prove themselves educationally as well athletically, and to build them in the faith and to build them as a man. And they stopped doing that. And I've never understood why. And that's what made Lou Holtz successful as a coach. And it's something they should continue to do today.
Well, I think you just put them on blast. I agree with everything you just said. I think we need to make more noise regarding that. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. Listen, in addition to that, there are guys that can get into Notre Dame that are, that have the academics to do so. And they've kind of like gone to these other schools, these other high academic schools. So in addition to being a little more lenient and letting guys in that, might not necessarily have it academically, but are otherwise good people, there are guys that have the academics that can get in and have the athletic ability. And I've mentioned the four from Stanford, Donovan Edwards from Michigan, Will Shipley from Clemson. You got to get those guys. That's the thing. You can't, when you got your hands on them, can't. I understand NIL, we lost those 3 last year. I think we're going to lose them anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do pay for play. If we're going to lose like that, we're going to. It wasn't meant to be anyway. But I think there are guys, high level play, that don't fall for that stuff. That do believe in the 40 for 40. They do believe in Notre Dame. And I think if we get our hands on them, I think that alone will take us to the next level. But having that open mind, being a step ahead, giving a guy a chance, that would. I mean, I can't see how that wouldn't work. To be honest with you.
I agree, John. You're just showing people you have a heart, and I don't know if they want to see that.
Oh, come on. Give me a break. It's a holiday weekend. The kids are around. I mean, come on. I had to put her on for a minute. What'd I miss? All right. I'm bringing her back upstairs. We got to get back to business. I did. All right. We're good. Riley, say hi to the crowd. Say hi, Pat. Say
hi, sweetie. Hi.
Hi. Say hi, Pat.
Hi.
Hi, Pat.
Oh, you waved at me.
Good. Yeah. He's a bad influence. We're getting you away from him.
Hey, Big John, is that your only one?
That's his only one. That is his only one. John is. John, I think John's one and done.
A little older.
Yeah. No, she's a cutie. She's a cutie. No, you're right. Like the Jessica. Ladies and gentlemen, that is John Kennedy's wife. That is Mrs. Jessica Kennedy. Jess,
what is this, a family reunion?
I know, right? Happy Mother's Day, Jess.
Thank you.
We got the whole family on the show tonight, apparently. And Andrew,
that's awesome. John, you're a lucky guy.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
watching as I'm talking. You're a lucky guy. You got a beautiful family.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, say hi, Pat. Say hi, Pat.
Hi.
Oh, man. Pat, she's too young to even know your deal, buddy. Man, this is great. Everybody's saying what's up. Good to see you. This is a family show after all. Look at this. Say you got to go change. I think you pooped yourself. It reeks in here. See ya.
John, my mom texted adorable.
And she's talking about my face, right? Thank you. Close that. Thank you. All right, we're back in the mix after that delay.
No, so, John, we're talking about Prop 48 when guys like Tony Rice and Chris George can get into Notre Dame even though they didn't have the degree. That's what we were talking about. And why Monk Malloy, that basketball-loving, dropped it. I know he dropped it because of the Kim Dunbar situation. It was because of the Kim Dunbar situation. But if there's not a policy that was more the epitome of what the Notre Dame mission was, it was about giving kids an opportunity because of athletics. Fine, it's because of athletics. But it gave them the opportunity to get a degree from Notre Dame and contribute to the Notre Dame community and win on the football field.
Yep. And I thought, Pat, that was the overall mission of Notre Dame originally. Give these Irish Catholic boys a chance to make it and get educated and then go live the world. What a better way to live those values than to let some kids in that normally wouldn't get in but are willing to put in extra work to be a Notre Dame man. Tony Rice is a great example of that. And he ended up winning a championship, and he's a sweetheart. He is a great example of that. That represents the Notre Dame mission to me more than
anything else.
If you don't have a 4.98 GPA, we can't even look at you. Giving people a chance.
And all I'm not gonna say all those guys did, but so many guys got a degree from a school they had no belonging to.
Yeah.
Because of that. And it set them up for the rest of their life.
Yep.
Chris George says that to the day. You talk to Chris George. I met the guy. He will tell you that's exactly what set him up on his life. Not his football career, because he didn't really make it into with the Bears.
Right.
It was his degree from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
A quick question. I just want to touch on one last thing, and I'll let you go. I've been on the line for a minute. I'm sure you have a lot more color. Did you guys see the early lines for Ohio State, USC, and Clemson?
I don't think I did. What are they?
I didn't.
Pat, I couldn't hear you. Did you see him?
I did not. I did not. No.
All right. So I just want to get your thoughts on it. +7 Ohio State at home, -1 USC at home, and +4 at Clemson. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, it's so early. Those lines are going to move so much once the season started. I have no thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too early to assess, huh?
Yeah. It's just like that. John did that ranking show.
Yeah, dude, you shouldn't even really have rankings till about week 6 or 7.
Agreed.
After everybody's through the high school games, they play early, and then you get into a few actual games. I don't know.
John, that's a very popular perspective about waiting to rate these teams. But how do you rate them if you don't know what they are?
You rate them.
You know what I mean? Everybody looks good
but wait, here's why.
Good against Kent State.
No. You want to know why? Well, there's two different things. That's why I'm saying week 6 or 7. So you get through that 3 or 4 week window where everybody plays nobody, except for us most years.
But how do you know who nobody is?
Well, by nobody, I mean Michigan's schedule, where it's Central High School and it's not even real teams.
I get it.
Nobody.
You mean Tennessee State? Navy?
No, well, yeah, right. No, I get your point. Rankings.
No. I mean Marshall and Stanford, obviously. That's what I mean by nobody, because nothing can go wrong when you play those teams, right? Automatic wins, right? Let me stab myself in the face.
His point though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your point is that you need rankings to start the year so you can actually tell who's played somebody when the playoff rankings come out.
We have recruit rankings.
Yeah,
we have recruit rankings that we're continuing to analyze.
But the issue is, but wait,
also coincide with the CBS poll, with the AP poll, with the coaches poll. It's very, very, very similar.
But here's a philosophical thing here. Check this out. What do most teams get rated on in the preseason rating? How good they were last year, which is a totally different team than this year. So I don't know. Whatever.
Oh yeah, because they had Notre Dame number 5.
John, is that what it is? Because I looked at, like I said, I said earlier, I looked at the 24/7 composite, the 23, 22, and 21, and then I took the average of the 3 years, and then I aligned it with the preseason rankings. Now we have 3 ranked games preseason, and then the other teams on our schedule, Stanford, number 35 average recruiting class the last 3 cycles. Louisville, number 41 recruiting class the last 3 cycles. NC State, number 46 last 3 recruiting cycles. Pitt, 51. Duke, 54. Wake, 63. Central Michigan, 87. Navy, 128. And Tennessee State, a whopping 230. I think that's about accurate. I think that's probably about where those teams stand if they were to be ranked top to bottom right now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I get what you're kind of doing, how that would align, but it's an imperfect science. I don't know.
Just in the example is, look at where Notre Dame started and ended last year.
Yeah,
we were never a top.
But wait. What? Here's where I lose my mind, Pat, is when I'm told Freeman ruined this top 10 team he was handed. And a top 5, whatever, and he ruined it.
John,
I hear it all the time. But I hear it all the time. Kelly and
that was a top 10 team. They lost 2 games they shouldn't have, and they probably should have blown a few more teams out.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about it.
Came out. Mayor said it after the BYU game. We just handled BYU and North Carolina back-to-back games. They had their rhythm. They had their flow. We ended up pounding Clemson. We had a top 10 team last year. We didn't have a top 5 team.
I agree.
We definitely had a top
I agree. That team could have easily been 10-2. Easily been 10-2.
Sure.
Oh
Should've
wow,
been.
wow!
Should've
Now
been.
I'm
Not could've.
now I'm super excited. Like what? I mean, fine 10-2. I mean, it's better than 8-4, but still 10-2 is
Way
not
better.
what you're looking for. And the other thing is, you
Well,
had the
that's gonna
quarterback issue
calm
all
down
year.
the Newt Rockneys.
But how do you account for that quarterback nightmare? I struggle with that. Caller and Pat, how do you handle that? We got handicapped so much by that quarterback dynamic. How fair is it to be mad about that when it's still unacceptable losing to Marshall and Stanford? But you also can't ignore the 8-ball we got put behind because of bad previous recruiting and development at quarterback. And then this guy goes down and then you're screwed. What are you laughing at?
We definitely have limitations at quarterback, but we definitely have limitations at receiver as well. So that I don't think Drew Pine was by any means Stenson Bennett, who again was overrated, and the talent surrounding him brought him up.
Yeah,
I do think if Drew Pine had more talent around him, I think he may have done a little better. But I also think our offensive line, our running game, and our defense were good enough alone to get us 10 wins last year. I definitely do. And if Buckner doesn't get hurt, I definitely think we won 10 games last year.
yeah. I mean, I probably agree with
it's
that.
just
I
hard
probably
to-
agree
know,
with
I
that.
wouldn't. I wouldn't because it was Buckner who lost the Marshall game.
Again.
Yeah.
It was Buckner who lost the Marshall game. That game was over before Pine ever got in the game.
Man, they just no-showed. I don't understand, though. How does that happen, you guys?
They
How do
really
you end
no-showed
up in a
against
position
Stanford.
where
Well,
you
you got half the
no-show?
guys-
How do you
half the guys
no-show?
following Reese, half the guys following Freeman. That's how it happened. Reese is out of here.
Yeah,
So,
like that's my
it's easy
question.
math for me.
I don't
You know,
understand.
All right,
Freeman's
this is
one
good.
guy, it's one
We're
team,
talking
they
about
follow
Tommy
him.
Reese. This is a good time for me to take my break.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And listen, I've been
And
told
again,
there was some friction.
I think the schedule this year with those 9 guys, I mean, you could start Minchie this year, and we should win 9 games and probably win going away in every one of them. Because I mean, you know, after the big 3, Stanford with the average recruiting class of number 35. You know what ours is? Ours is number 9.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
That sounds about
we
right.
Be able to put our second string in there and pound Stanford.
Man,
Should be close.
If only,
so I see,
man. But you know, the games don't always play out according to those rankings, man. Like
that's coaching, John. That's coaching. That's getting you guys to buy in. That's coaching. That's getting you guys to buy into your product.
Let me ask you this:
and I believe in Freeman.
How much? Listen, year 1 of Freeman, I think there was like a little bit of understanding as far as like it's a tough spot. You're dropped in here, first time on the job, do the best you can. I feel like year 2, people are going to be a lot stricter on him. I don't think Freeman has the fan leash he had year 1, year 2. I think the heat's cranking up on him. Do you agree?
Either. You know what? He shouldn't either because you know Kelly won 10 games 5 years in a row. You know, and we kind of ran him out of town. So that should be the floor. They have a 10-win. He was handed a 10-win team last year. They didn't get it done. I think it was an anomaly. I think we had a bit of a transitional turmoil going on with the locker room. I think that's now subsided. And I think if they buy in and he does what he's supposed to do, I think 10 wins is the floor. You got a 25-year-old NFL quarterback, man. You've got wide receivers with this freshman class. You've got that sophomore kid that was supposed to play a lot more last year that didn't. You've got a running back room that's loaded. Honestly, you know, less than 10 is a failure. As far you can't win one of those.
Oh yeah,
3.
no. I totally agree with you. Anything less than 10 is a disaster. Anything else you got, my friend? I want to get some more people in here, but you have good thoughts, so we let you go.
Yeah, listen, I'm out of gas. Thank you for picking up for me, and it's a pleasure. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Hey, you as well, my friend. Hey, thank you for putting so much thought into all this. I really appreciate your calls and emails, man. You're all over this. You put a lot of thought in. Thank you.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Take care.
Have a good one.
Right.
And the other thing is, Pat, I just like the accent. It's different than your and mine, your and I's northern accent here. I like that.
My Chicago.
Yeah, you were born under a Southwest jet that fell off Midway Airport's runway.
I was actually born in Oak Lawn. But I lived in Chicago forever.
Oh,
Never going back.
Pat, we got a couple people that donated that wanted to call. 517 and then 224. You both donated, so you're coming up. 517 is the first one. What's going on, man?
Is this me?
Yep, that's you.
All right. Thanks, man. Hey, I really appreciate you taking my call.
No problem, man. What's up? Hey, it's a little hard to hear you. I don't know if you're on speaker or whatever, or talk into the thing. It's a little hard.
Hold on. Let me help you out. Hold on.
Perfect.
Is it better?
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
better.
there
What's
you
on
go.
your
That's
mind,
good.
man?
Hey, I'm just looking at the schedule right now, and I'm looking at the schedule, and like from my memory, Ohio State through Clemson is going to be a gong show. Who
Yeah.
are we really?
Yeah.
Is what I want to say.
So you
do you
got,
think?
let's line this up here. You have Ohio State, then you have a tricky away test against an old Notre Dame guy at Duke, and they're on the rise. That could be a trap, because whether you win or lose against Ohio State, the emotions are going to be muted the next week. Whether they're high or low, everybody's going to be out of sorts that next week. So you go to Duke, and that's tricky. Also, Louisville, that is a small stadium. However, they do the blackout. So Notre Dame's going to get the Louisville blackout treatment. Everybody's going to be wasted. Night game. It's going to be loud. I saw that, Pat. Nice try. That's going to be loud. And then you got USC and then a bye. So I just wanted to lay that out for people. I've known you too long, Pat. You can't sneak it by me. So I wanted to lay out for everybody that stretch. What do you make of that? You think that's where our season's going to be made or broke? Do I still got you?
I was going to say, who you asking? Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I wasn't talking to you, Pat.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh,
I'm here.
okay. Yeah.
We're talking to you, Pat.
So,
We're talking to you, buddy.
yeah.
Oh, okay. We're talking to me.
What do you make of that stretch? You brought up that window. What do you make of it? It's a little tricky.
He's talking to you, caller.
Say what?
What do you think?
John's
Well,
asking you.
up that stretch. What do you got?
Yeah, John's asking you for your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
stretch.
Basically, I think it's like a make or break. Are we good or are we not? So we go to the Ohio State game. We're all in green, right? We should win that game in theory, right?
Maybe.
So
Maybe. I mean, well, wait a second. Wait.
That's
Tell
a hell
me
of
the
a
theory.
theory.
Talk me
It's
through
like
your
a
theory.
big-
They have more
is it-
talent than we do
I know.
overall.
Is it Big Bang
So
Theory?
Tell me the theory. How is it in theory? Because
The
they have
theory
more raw
is-
talent. Overall, they have more raw
Yeah.
talent.
Hey.
So give me the theory.
Hey, come on. Let me just speak, okay?
Okay.
So the theory is that we went there last year. We played them basically into the fourth quarter, called a 2 safety blitz, and got smoked, and we couldn't actually score against them for whatever reason. I don't know what it was, really. Was it a bad game plan? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't adjustments. Maybe. I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like we should have won that game. 100%.
I mean, we couldn't
There's
even
no reason not to.
score
Yeah,
more
no.
than 10 points. I mean, I can't take Notre Dame seriously when you run out there the first game and you score 10 points. I can't say you deserve to win any game when you score 10 damn points. That's not real football. That's not real life.
Okay.
That's Notre Dame, but it ain't real life.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I live in a fantasy land, but in my fantasy land in my head, I think that Notre Dame should have figured out how to score on offense, so they could have actually scored 30 points in the game. Because all we needed was 30 points. That's it.
So wait a
You
second.
can't manufacture 30 points.
But I mean,
against the
you're
defense
just.
that you prepare for all.
But wait. Now we're getting down the road here where you're like, we should win this year
should.
because last year we should have scored 3 more
30.
times.
Yeah.
That's where I'm struggling.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's just me. Maybe it's just me.
No, I
just feel like
No,
we have talent.
it's not
totally-
it's not
but
just
if
you. I
wait.
think Notre Dame should have scored 30 points too.
Yeah,
It's
they
just- we
should have
just didn't have
definitely-
the offense to do it.
Let me ask you this, caller. Is how much of this is based on this offense you think is going to be in a way better position this year? And with Hartman, they'll be able to actually score those 35, 42 points a game Is that what you're thinking a lot of? That with this offense and Hartman, we should be able to take another step? Is that what's on your mind? Because I like that idea.
You're the man, dude. You are. Because I was at the spring game this past year. I was in the snow, in the shit, and then I watched one quarterback just completely outplay the other quarterback. When the other quarterback, he might have been a starter for the first 2 games last year. The other quarterback had 4 of the best wide receivers on our team. And then our quarterback had Jaden Thomas and Jaden Greyhouse. Are you kidding me? Shredded him.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Put him in the dirt. And at the end of the day, I understand what Tommy Reese did. He's like, I want my guy, Alabama. He has a lot of upside. Well, holy shit. Holy crap, man. Did he just show us why? Period.
Yeah. I just think I think Notre Dame's offense is about to take a big leap this year. And tell me if you agree with this, caller. I feel like Notre Dame's offense is going to take a big step forward. And I feel like I'm worried a little bit about the defense overall. But if that offense takes a big of a jump forward, as I think, that could cover for them a little bit. And I think we could end up in a good spot. What do you think about that?
Last time I called, I said, I am really worried about the interior defensive line. So what I've been doing over the past, few months, ever since the last time I called, I went to the spring game and I'm really watching the interior defensive line. Tyson Ford has grown a lot.
Yep.
And he's big and he's strong. He wore a green jersey in the game. He looks very, very, very good. Then you got Onye, who I mentioned in the last chat.
Yep.
The last time we talked, I was like, holy crap. That guy is he's going to blow you off the ball. But sometimes, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but this is just what I'm seeing.
But hey, wait, can I
then
ask?
You got Riley Mears.
Yeah, Riley. You got Riley in there. It's just, here's the thing that makes me nervous. Here's what makes me nervous, though. Most of the guys you're mentioning, I don't have enough history with that I know I can bank and rely on a certain level of production out of them. I am not saying they're going to be terrible, but I do have to be nervous until I see that you can hold up.
Agree.
That's my concern. You lost 4 of your top 6 tacklers up front, over half of your sack production. I am nervous about it until I see against Ohio State that I don't have to be. That's my position, and I'm not changing it. I am going to have anxiety about that till I see that they can hold up against Ohio State.
Forget Ohio State.
Know,
they have to.
At the end of the day, I'm seeing certain things. I'm seeing certain things that are very favorable. So there's people that are why can't we get 4.5 sacks out of Nana Osafo-Mensah? Or why can't we get 8.5 to 10.5 sacks from Jordan Patella? Why can't we do that? Why can't we replace that production with multiple people instead of one person, Bosky, getting all the sacks?
Yep. Hey,
why wouldn't we be able to do that? That's what a defensive coordinator, he needs to do that. He needs to understand how to do that.
Yep. And they could, but I'm going to be nervous about it. And I'm not going to have any answers that make me feel better against Navy, Tennessee State, NC State, or CMU. I am not going to let my guard down worrying about the defensive front until I see, damn it, with my own eyes against Ohio State, that you're not getting ran on and you're getting after whatever young quarterback comes into our place. After that game, and we're doing this show, and we're in a good mood talking about that win, then I'll say I feel better about it.
It's going to be a very ruckus crowd on September 23rd.
Better be. All right.
I may be there. I may not.
Can I ask you, caller, I got to ask you a very serious question here. I would like to know why you went to the blue and gold game and you didn't come to the tailgate. Me and Pat were both there. Half of the chat was that. Where the hell were you? You've been bugging me the whole time.
Hey,
Oh, John, I was
on,
at the game. What are you, too cool for school? We were right out front the Leahy gate.
No.
We were right out front the Leahy
John.
gate. Where the hell were you?
John, can I speak? Jeez, man, I'm sorry. I should have went. However, like,
Wait,
we're coming about
dude,
from 2
here's
hours
the
away.
thing. Hey, don't take me as seriously as you are. This is a big mistake. Don't take me that seriously. I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth of the matter is, I want to come. If it was just me, hell yeah. But I have like a wife and 3 kids that I have to bring with me, and then it's raining and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and they were probably all scared of me. I understand that. Like, I get it. No,
No,
I'm just giving you a hard time. I get it. I will offer you this. We're gonna do a tailgate for Central Michigan. So if you want to come for that game, that'll be the one.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it when I heard you
the one.
talking about it yesterday. I think I heard you talking about it yesterday.
And we're gonna have
And
good
I was thinking
weather.
about, hey,
Yeah, the weather should be a lot
if
better
I
than
just bring just me and my boy, we can definitely come.
Beautiful, man. Yeah.
How old's your boy?
The
You
whole,
mind if I ask how old your boy is?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, look at this. Pat, is this true or not? It says John is not family friendly. I could be family friendly when I need to be. Come on. Give me a break.
No, that was a good one, Tech.
not the whole family. It's just the whole family.
Yeah.
If it's just one of my oldest boy, he's just about to turn 10.
Oh, this.
So, like, if I can bring him with me, he'll understand.
This
But,
perfect.
like, if I
Dude,
bring my whole
Pat's
family with me-
bringing his 9-year-old daughter, so you're good to go.
Angela Rudiger, we call her Rudy.
She's
gonna bring her kids.
Please don't put me in that position.
Yeah.
Oh no, hey, trust me. No, they're gonna have to, stay away from each other. But there's gonna be kids there.
No, it'll be a good time, man. Anything else on your mind? What else you got?
Well, I just think that the Logan Diz transfer was kind of like a surprise, even though like he was testing the waters, like freshman year, sophomore year.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would you leave now? That's what I don't understand. I haven't understood it I've been thinking about it ever since he's transferred. I don't get it. What are you doing?
Here's what I think. I think he just didn't want to have to divide up the carries as much as Notre Dame's running back room is going to dictate that they're going to divide out the carries. And the other thing is,
John, hold on. Can I interject 1 second?
Sure.
What you just said is what I thought, right? But then he goes to visit Ole Miss with Quinshon Judkins, who's one of the best running backs in entire college football. So you think you're not going to split carries there? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Hey, I don't know. But the other thing with him is there has been rumors about him leaving Notre Dame since he joined Notre Dame. That has been an ongoing thing from the beginning, is how sold is he on Notre Dame? Like, that has been an undercurrent. And then every spring I hear these rattlings in my ear of people going, yeah, they're trying to convince him to stay and not leave. I've heard that every time. So I don't know what to make, man. Maybe just that Notre Dame thing, it doesn't work out for everybody. Everything in like the movies, it doesn't always work out.
I don't know. I just, I'll never get it. But at the end of the day, let's talk about the running back room. And then I'm going to get off the phone.
Okay.
So the running back room is very strong in January. And we are in May right now. And what is it?
I mean,
lukewarm, right?
I mean, I think it's fine. It's better than lukewarm.
I think the running back
better than lukewarm. It's better than lukewarm. And the most talented one,
bona fide guy.
The most talented of all of them hadn't even stepped on campus yet. You ever consider that?
I know.
I have heard that Love might be the best athlete of all of them.
Right now.
When it comes to running, hold on. Let me jump in here. When it comes to running backs are they're a 19-year-old kid can walk on campus for the first time and be the best running back in the country. If they're fast and they can see the hole, that's all that matters. You got an offensive line that moves a guy out of the way, especially in college football, even more so in the NFL. They're studs. They're freaking studs. So I don't think this running back room is lukewarm. I think this running back room is red hot. And I think the reason Logan Diggs left is because this running back room is red hot.
Caller?
Oh man, I love his animus. I really do.
I mean, I just feel like, yes, it's a hurt of depth, but he did not like knowing that those carries were going to get divided out because Notre Dame has so many good backs that all do slightly different things that are going to warrant touches. And I can't ignore that undercurrent of being told he had to be convinced not to leave every next year. That is just an undercurrent red flag of not a good natural Notre Dame fit. When every year I hear, oh, I get a text message, John, they're convincing Diggs to stay again. I've heard that multiple times. So I don't think he ever felt fully comfortable at Notre Dame, and I don't know what you do about that. Maybe the priest and Rudy was right. It ain't for everybody.
Well, I'm not trying to be negative about the lukewarm comment. I'm just saying, hey, what do we have as far as proven ability? We have Jadarian Price, hurt. Jabron Payne, hurt. Right. Coming up, he's healthy now.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Of all the things.
Hold on, man. Come on. Jeremiah Love, supposed to be the best of all of them. I was there for his commitment at Stanford game. It was fun. I would love to say that we saw one of the best running backs of all time to play for Notre Dame commit to Notre Dame on the front lawn in front of the whatever that building is. I can't remember.
But I guess, all right,
like the administration building.
Here's what I'm going to say about all this.
The Golden Dome.
Of all the positions and all the things I worry about Notre Dame, I'm telling you right now, running back ain't on the list. I got 50 Notre Dame complaints worrying about the running back. Doesn't even tick as a register on the list. I have so many bigger picture things that I think matter so much more. Losing Diggs hurt, but I genuinely think that they're going to be fine. I really do. But I got a lot other bigger concerns than that.
Yeah, I hear you. But I just love the fact that, think about 2017, right? When we got one running back that was hurt, then Josh Adams came in and he ran for 900 yards, set a record for Notre Dame as a freshman when he wasn't even that good of a running back. Just think about if you have a good running back with an offensive line that includes Joe Alt and Blake Fisher, and then you got Zeke Corral in the middle. Let's think about maybe Andrew Kosafik, Rocco Spindler, Strauss. I don't know. I just think they're going to be dominant at the end of the day, very, very dominant. And if we can get a good running back that can stay healthy, we needed two of them, in my opinion. So I think Jabron Payne, judging by the spring game, could be that. I really do.
Yeah.
We don't know what Jeremiah Love is right now, but could he be a guy after 3-4 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Is Jadarian Price healthy? Because he was he's very, very, very athletic and very big.
Yep. Nope. I think we're going to be okay there. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not going to act like Diggs doesn't hurt the depth. It's just, I think some of these young guys could fulfill the role. And like Pat said, running back's an area where you could fit some guys in.
Every day.
Yeah. But hey, man, thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. I am disappointed you didn't swing by the tailgate. Come to Central Michigan. Me and Pat will be there. We'll have the flag up and we'll have a good morning. All right.
I'll try.
Yeah,
Okay.
love to meet you.
Yep. We would love it. Come by, man.
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good night.
Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
For all the keyboard warriors, dial the number.
You know what, man, Pat? This is what the show's for. You open up the call online.
Yeah,
you don't know what's coming your way, man.
You know what? Credit. You know what?
I felt bad because I didn't know if he wasn't picking up my sarcasm. I felt bad he thought I was.
No, you're a sarcastic person. But you know what? The guy, he dialed the number. He gave you a super chat, right?
Yep.
He gets his time. He
Yep.
gets his time. So
Absolutely.
all these guys, oh, hey, hang up on this guy. You know what? 312-988-15.
Oh, you don't got that eye pitch. All right, 224. Give me some more. Pat, you don't know how to do that.
No, my testicles
You leave
dropped
that
a long
to
time
me.
ago.
224, you're on the air. What up?
Hey, what's up, John? It's Andrew Gilmore. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, man? We're having a good
Can I
Pat,
hold on,
ahead.
Andrew? Hold on, Andrew. I want to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you. I saw Andrew. I saw you donated, so I knew you were coming up. I have been waiting for this for a long time. I love your comments. I know you and I have battled, but I think you are sharp. You know what you're talking about. I defer to you often. I'll ask you questions because you are like spot on. So I am really excited about this call.
Jeez, man, he's gonna ask you out next.
Yeah.
Jesus, what do you got? What do you got, man? Jeez, after that, you better have something juicy after that introduction. He just built you up.
You know what? I feel like I do, but I do want to comment on the last two callers, if that's okay, and then I'll get into my main point. I'll be quick.
Only I can criticize callers.
You can do whatever you want. It's Saturday Night Live, baby.
Andrew, only I can call in and shit on other
thing
callers.
I want to talk about is Logan Diggs. I think, you know what? I agree with Domer Guy 88, who's a usual chat member.
Yeah.
What? I like, everybody keeps talking about how running back is just like a dime a dozen. You just can come up with these guys and they're going to be great. And like, you know what? I like Estime and I think he's a good player, but I think Estime's, personally, I think, and I've seen a lot of Notre Dame football. I think Estime's peak is very much like the running back, from a couple of years ago who was undrafted, but like just like a straightforward runner, can't make people miss. And I'm like, you know what? Logan Diggs is definitely the most complete back. So like, I cannot believe that cannot hurt your offense. I'm going to start there. Number two, I actually do agree with the last caller on the defensive line. I'm like, I like what, in terms of Marcus Freeman, in terms of recruiting, I like what they're doing because they've transformed their defense into, hey, we're going to get a bunch of tweeners. We're going to get a bunch of guys that are quasi defensive backs, quasi linebackers. And so, okay, that's fine. Like, and they're recruiting to that, but where is the big defensive tackles that they're getting? Because like when I was a kid and I grew up in San Diego, when the San Diego Chargers were awesome, they played a 3-4 defense and they had Jamal Williams, who was one of the best nose tackles of all time. I swear to God, like for a 3-year period, he was unbelievable. Where's that? Like, and he was like a 320-pound guy, like, or 300. I mean, he was ridiculously huge. He used to say to a pizza company in San Diego, don't cut the slices. Bake me a pizza, fold it up like a burrito. I'm going to eat that as a snack.
Yeah.
That's what he would say.
All right.
So,
here's
like,
one of my, all right.
Those guys
on
defense.
Yeah. All right. One of my initial concerns is exactly what you said. I'm looking up front and I'm like, where's the beef? Like, where's my dude clogging up the running lanes, just pushing everything into the quarterback? Like, where's my Lewis Nix body? Like, where are those guys? That's what makes me nervous. Now, am I hopeful about Riley Mills and Anye and hell, Gobert, whoever they're putting in the offense, the defensive front? I am hopeful. I am encouraged. I have heard good things, but until I know it, I can't trust it. And I want to be clear. I don't think that's being negative. It's being optimistically cautious until I have evidence that I know I could buy in and believe. That evidence isn't coming until Ohio State. So I'm hopeful it's going to be fine, but without evidence, I'm not it would be irresponsible of me as a Notre Dame fan to go, oh, I haven't seen half of these guys do much, but I'm confident it'll all work out. No, I've been around the block long enough to not rely on that.
John,
Show me you're not getting ran on against Ohio State, and then I'm happy. Oh, look at Pat. Oh, there's John yelling again. Yeah, get used to it.
Get used to it. Get used to it
again.
You remember? You threw me out of your apartment.
I'll do it again. I'll throw you off this channel.
20 years ago, you threw me out of your apartment.
I'm taking your wrench. All right, Andrew, what do you think of that? I just can't trust what I haven't seen. I can't trust what I haven't seen. Nobody can ask me to trust what I haven't seen with my own eyes, other than God, but that's a different discussion.
We'll see. I think that we'll see if it's going to work out. And that's why I think it's really interesting about Marcus Freeman's recruiting, because there's no doubt that the athleticism has been picked up on his recruiting.
Accurate.
It takes development.
Overall,
development.
Hey, Andrew, overall team speed on the rise too on both sides of the ball. That's a big deal to me. And Notre Dame's getting better at that too. Team speed improving.
Hey, Andrew,
I agree with that. And you know what? There's people in your chat that are really just all about the stars, and there is trueness to the stars, but what they don't ever really talk about is the fact that this 3-3-5 defense has to have a bunch of tweeners, like that guy Sneed. Sneed is almost like a half middle linebacker, half safety. There's these quasi positions, and that's what actually Marcus Freeman is going for. Whether it works, I don't know.
God damn it, Andrew!
Going for these tweeners. Yeah.
Andrew, I got to tell you, man, you drive me nuts, because just when I think you're going to leave me like a crack to nail you on something, you end up with a really good point.
Because he's not an idiot.
I have seen a lot of people question some of that recruiting philosophy and going after, what's his name? Rezak? Is that what his name is? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Guy
just committed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with that comes flexibility, where different guys, you could maybe see where their body's going to lend them, and then you could have flexibility with where they end up big picture. But man, you're looking at the nuance of that, I think, in the right way. And a lot of people have been questioning some of those body types and whatever, but you're right. Their vision is a little different. And I don't know that it's going to work, but I respect that they have a vision and they're going all out to set it up and then see what they could do. I do respect that.
So let me interject real quick.
People are more used to building I think they're more used to building personnel on offense and not building personnel on defense. They just think it's very typical, but I think that's what's going on in defense. They're building a very specific style of defense.
Yeah.
And we'll find out, because even the corners that they recruit, Minkins, that guy is not a bad recruiter. I for how bad O'Leary is, that Minkins is a good recruiter. And so I believe in him, even though he landed some 3-star that has not blown up yet, the guy's 6'1" corner, they're clearly going for big physical corners. That's been the directive from Marcus Freeman. You need to. No, we're not going to get little guys, or, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? We're going to recruit 6'1" or more corners. That's what we're doing. So that's what he recruited, and it exactly landed it. So it's interesting to say, but so I do want to criticize a few things, though.
No. This show, no. Who do you think you are? No, not on this show, Andrew. This is the show that no. You got the wrong program, brother. This show never criticizes shit. Everything's good to go here, buddy. I don't know who the hell. Where do you get off? Call it in here on a Saturday night at 10:18, and you're going to question something in Notre Dame land. Get off your high horse, Andrew.
You're off.
I'm telling you, I love this show more than anything else. This is a riot. What are you going to criticize? Let's hear it for the first time ever.
All right. Two critical moves on Marcus Freeman's part. Number one, the most critical thing is that I really feel that the most impactful people that have been recruited in Notre Dame so far under the Marcus Freeman era have been on the offensive side of the ball. And no offense, but the last time I checked Marcus Freeman's resume, he's a defensive guy. So like, what's going on here? Where's the disconnect? And then like, you know what? Also, NIL is always paid offensive side of the ball guys way more than defensive side of the ball. So unless you're a pass rusher or maybe
wait. So I just want to back that up, because you have been critical of Notre Dame's NIL positions, but you're saying offensive players are getting paid more, but Notre Dame is getting more offensive players. Are you saying?
Well, I just think that like, I'm just confused a little bit, because like, I don't think you need to like pay, defensive guys the kind of money that you have to pay like a quarterback or a wide receiver, like real skillful players, you know what I mean? So like, what's going on, man? Like I thought your charm and your ability to make friends with people would just close some of these guys. And so that's one. And then the second thing I'm going to just say is that I really am disappointed in the fact, and I sent a super chat earlier today, I'm really disappointed in the fact that they've decided to go with Tommy Rees's offense. I really applauded the idea that Marcus Freeman, like as soon as Tommy Rees left, he went and interviewed the Kansas State coach. Then he went and interviewed the Utah coach. And obviously we all thought the Utah coach was coming. But those were recently successful, good offenses. And they were both very unique and very good. And I just thought, like, you know what? Marcus Freeman is on the right path. Like he's a defensive guy, and maybe he doesn't know offense that much, but he knows what results are. And so I'm going to go with the guys with the results. But instead, he hires within. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You're going to hire within. You're going to hire your buddy from, who was an offensive coordinator at one point, even though it was unsuccessful.
Well, but wait. All right, wait.
Let's back this up.
All right,
John, let me go on this. Let me go on this one.
Wait.
Let's
what you want to go? Go. Wait.
Yeah, I want to go. Can I talk on your show? Is that allowed?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're gonna let me go.
Yeah, it's your show.
I don't think you can't look at the Parker hire on neutral ground. They could not risk going out and getting exposed again.
Yeah.
So that was not like a go-to thing, man. That was like, okay, we already got burned. We're getting killed in the media. Always Irish is killing me in the media. That was something to kind of put out the fire, was it not?
No, I disagree.
What was it, Pat?
It was that he thought he had the best guy in house. I truly believe.
Well, then why didn't he go after him first, Pat? If he had the best guy in the house, why even go? Why bring the guy out on a date to the hockey game from Utah?
Right, let me rephrase. His next best guy was in house.
Okay, now I got
it. Guy
after the public embarrassment, then the next guy was in the
it was a public embarrassment. But here's the thing.
Now I got it.
Ludwig's offense is the same offense as Tommy Rees.
Yeah, except it works.
Well.
Yeah, except it hangs 40 plus on USC two times in a year.
The difference is a guy who's been an offensive coordinator.
Except it scores points.
Did I not just say in the chat that I can get John going?
I agree with Pat there. I don't think it's the same offense.
It is. It's a run-first offense.
Ludwig has shown the ability to adapt his offense to whoever the personnel is. And you can look at his resume. It actually agrees with that. He's not a system-oriented offensive coordinator, and that's exactly what they needed. They needed to hire a offensive coordinator that met the system. That's why I was thinking that Joe Moorhead would have been a good offensive coordinator, and Andy Ludwig. I was like, you know what, that's a perfect hire. And I thought that Marcus Freeman was on the right move. And I'm not saying that Parker is on the bad move, but I'm disappointed that I see that we're going to run Tommy Rees's fucking pro style offense. That's like, you fucking have to like know, like, oh, they lined up in cover 2, and you gotta make all these adjustments and shit like that at the line.
Okay.
That is not good because hey, hold on, Pat. We're starting we're supposedly starting now Merriweather, and then we're definitely starting Greathouse after that performance at the spring games. Like, you know what? It's not that easy to pick up stuff like that. It takes 3-4 years. That's why Jalen Hyatt, the best wide receiver last year, 4th round pick. That guy was a junior. You know what I mean? It's like it takes a little bit to get that good. You know what I mean? So it's like I would have expected Marcus Freeman to tell his offensive coordinator, run the shit that you want to run. I mean, is this really what you want to run? We're going to copy Tommy Reese's little pro style offense? Like, come on,
Andrew.
You know,
Andrew, I think that's a very unfair characterization because Marcus Freeman came out and said it before Tommy left. He wants a pro style offense that is hard-nosed football. And then if you need to go fast, you can go fast. That's what Freeman said he wanted his offense to be. And I think that's exactly why I never liked the Kansas State guy, the guy who cost Notre Dame a national championship in 2012. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, wait. All right. My mini timeout. The ultimate Notre Dame.
I knew I would rile you with that one.
The ultimate Notre Dame irony here is that night we celebrated being number 1 in the nation is the reason we did not win the championship.
National championship.
We would have been. It is the ultimate Notre Dame statement of my life that night that we ended up being number 1. We would have ended up being in a better position, not being number 1.
Absolutely.
And playing freaking Kansas State in the middle of nowhere with Toto as the offensive coordinator. But
Andrew,
no, we ended up
Andrew,
bringing a team full of cyborgs.
Hold on. Okay, Andrew, this is where I come back to it.
John, just real quick, and I'll let you go because I'm sure you have other callers, but
they're all mad at me. It's too late. They're all mad at me. Fine.
We're going all night.
You know why that was too late to well, here, let me just back up. You know why I thought that was interesting that they were looking at the Kansas State guy is that it's not because of the scheme that they ran. I'm not saying that we need to bring that offensive coordinator scheme to Notre Dame. It was because that they figured out what their personnel was good at, and then they ran the scheme. That's the smart move at a place like Notre Dame. It's like, we're not going to be like Alabama. We're not going to be like Georgia. We're not going to be like Miami.
Hey,
we're going
Andrew,
to be speed demon.
Andrew, can I ask you something?
Fair.
Can I ask you something weird? I got reports after it was Colin Klein is who you're referencing. Are we correct? The case that
Klein. It's Kansas State. It's Colin Klein.
Tell me, Andrew, tell me if you heard this. I don't know if you have any connections, but I get my little people here and there. I got a message saying, be ready for them to announce Klein. They really want him and he's on campus. So I got a text message saying, prepare your content for that if you want to get out of it. It looks like it's going to be Klein. Then a couple days later, the same guy messaged me and said, there was a hang up with his religion that ended up causing an issue here. And I don't know what to make of that, but I think he's some religion that like has an issue with Catholics or something. I was literally had multiple people text me that they heard there was something with his value system that didn't line up with Notre Dame and it wasn't going to work. I had multiple people tell me that.
I think that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I hey, I am just telling you what I was reported, but I wasn't in the room. I don't know.
You know what it is, John, and we can all agree to this. You were on board. Cheap money talks. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm an Irish Catholic, if a Jewish school wanted to pay me money to go coach their team, I'm going to go coach.
Dude, I'm going to
Jewish school.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you one thing I have zero patience for. And when I say zero, I mean none. I have no patience for anybody associated with Notre Dame to say they don't have the money for something. It offends me to the core when I can't handle it, dude.
That's why it pisses me off.
Every single time I get off that stupid toll road, there's 8 new buildings coming up. Not one of them says football.
I know.
Never. It's a
right.
band building. It's a science building. I want to get off the highway and see new football building.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, John.
You're yelling again.
Right. And again, I want you to have another caller, so I'm just going to end on this. That 2 callers ago, the New York accent guy, I think that he's a really smart caller and stuff like that. But I think it's a bunch of BS that we're still talking about academics, because academics in high school with star athletes have meant so little for so long. Like, and now they mean even so little. Like, ACTs and SATs literally do not matter anymore, even for a place like Notre Dame. They don't. It's racist to be like judging people off of ACTs and ACTs. Now it's all about just showing up for class. So like, I think a guy like Brandon Hillman probably did something that was really bad during his last semester. And so it's like, you know what? It's nothing about academics anymore. Now it's about, can Notre Dame get their NIL collective together, and can their NIL collective pay people? Because at the end of the day, if you want a top 5 recruit at an important position, I'm talking about quarterback, left tackle, I'm talking about defensive end, you know what I mean? Wide receivers. Like, I think it's going to be increasingly tougher if you don't pay them up front. USC, for instance, has not been interested at paying people up front. They're going more to the portal. And I think that that's to Notre Dame's benefit, because for how interesting it is that you might get somebody who might be developed, it's like, you know what? I'd rather develop my own talent. That's how people have won. But go ahead. Sorry, John.
I don't even think I was saying anything. I was letting you go. You're doing a good job. Andrew, I was letting you go, baby. It's your show.
Well, I'm just saying that I think that there's something called grade inflation. And so that you look at IMG Academy in Florida, you look at like tons of prep schools all around the country. The idea that these great athletes can't get into Notre Dame anymore is such a bunch of bullshit. It really is.
So like, Andrew,
yeah.
Pat and I both appreciate your input into this show. You have really good, very well thought out positions. Let me ask you this. What is your number one reason Notre Dame struggles to land top talent? What do you think it is that keeps Notre Dame? Money. What about before money was a thing? What about before the money was allowed? Because we haven't done it for a long time. The money's only been allowed a couple years. What about the 20 years before the money was allowed? Is it still money, but it's just the bag you don't see?
You know what? Honestly, I think that we're in a weird spot because, like, we took for granted how good Notre Dame was. Lou Holtz was awesome. The previous coach was a piece of crap, and then like it was a slight downward decline until Lou Holtz, and then we hire guys like, I think that actually Pat's opinion about the ex-president is probably right. I don't know.
Monk Malloy
on it very, very much.
Terrible.
But like Bob Davies was a terrible coach. Ty Willingham was a terrible coach, and then they hired a egomaniac like Charlie Weiss, who thought he could like just act like Bill Parcells and like we're gonna turn
I know. Okay, fine.
1986. Yeah,
I know, but but I get that the Weiss was a struggle. But at least, wait, Andrew, wait, no. At least Charlie looked good on the sidelines. We didn't win.
Yeah. At least
I just put my feet up on that one.
God, I'm such a jerk.
You-
but I can't help it.
you-
I feel better about
but
my
you know what?
team
You
when
know
I
what?
see.
When I said the first coach to truly
What do I
sacrifice his
never
body
give
for Notre
credit
Dame.
for? Give it to me.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to you. That there's been a certain type of player. And in fact, we talk about Mike Goolsby a lot, right?
Yep.
Do you ever hear about Mike Goolsby?
Oh, I talk to him all the time.
He mentioned on his recruiting trip that the linebacker that was supposed to like take him out, like, hey, I'm recruiting you and stuff like that, or like, hey, come here to Notre Dame, ditched him on the recruiting trip. Like, ditched him. Like,
nice.
He just like was at the school.
Yeah,
and
great. That's
him.
a great way to get.
And
that's
yet,
a great way.
But yet he still was like, I'm 100% committed to Notre Dame, because there's a certain type of person. We all agree. There's a certain type of person that wants to play and go to Notre Dame.
Yep.
And so
yeah,
I think that what you don't give enough credit for is, in the last 4 coaches that have been the coach at Notre Dame, and counting Lou Holtz, Brian Kelly was the best at getting the most out of the guys that were supposed to go to Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he was lazy at getting the best recruits, but he got the best out of the Mike Goolsby. Like, he taught them discipline. He taught them, yeah. And we won 10 or 11 games. It's like, I'm not saying that that's the pinnacle. Like, thank God he did it, but I'm just saying that.
But wait.
Lost a lot of games. Yeah.
Well, all right. A couple philosophical. God, Andrew, you're such a good caller. I love it. All right. Couple philosophical things here. One thing I will never allow is comparing Notre Dame's coaching bar to where, as long as you're better than the awful before, you're good. You could be better than Willingham and Davey and Weiss and it still not be good enough. So there's the gap. What
for you, John?
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. We're gonna have a question for you.
So I have a problem with, when I was getting mad hearing that Kelly wouldn't get on that private plane. It's not like he's waiting in line in TSA at Midway Airport where Pat grew up, waiting for 2 hours. He wouldn't even, dude, I used to hate being at Pat's house. I'd be laying there trying to sleep at 2 a.m. and all I hear is a dumb planes flying over. I thought we were getting bombed. Every time I slept on his couch, I thought we were in a war zone. Every 2 minutes.
You clearly did not hear what you just said. John was never at my house at 2 a.m. John was not trying to sleep in my house.
Yes, I was.
All right. Well,
John
was on the couch. John was on the couch.
You might not remember it, but I was there.
We're separate.
Here's the issue. I wasn't trying to sleep with Pat. I was trying to sleep on his couch. Give me a break. All right. I don't like that saying, oh, Kelly's amazing, because the few guys before him were terrible. It's a different bar than that. And the other thing is, I give Kelly, I try and give Kelly credit for the things Kelly deserves credit for and rip him for the things he deserves credit for. I say all the time, Kelly came in a tough spot, rebuilt the culture, got us to a certain level. But ultimately, when I am told that he will not get off the couch, get on a private jet, and recruit top quarterbacks, I'm done. You're dead to me, dude. I can't have all my people tell me behind the scenes, this dude will not recruit. And then you expect me to respect that. I won't. He wasn't putting in the effort, and I don't respect that.
All right, can I ask you a question, though, real quick?
Yeah.
What about Deshaun Kaiser? That guy looked like a real quarterback, and he got him, and he was pretty awesome. Like, you can't say that he didn't get.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Quarterback,
whoa, Andrew. What do you mean about Deshaun Kaiser? Deshaun Kaiser said that the first time he talked to Brian Kelly was his first day on campus. That's from Deshaun Kaiser.
He did say that. He went on a podcast and said that he didn't even meet Kelly on his recruiting trip. And the first time he met him was when he moved in.
Then I can't. Yeah, he never met Kelly.
Like, the guy checked out, bro.
He never talked to him.
Checked out.
Even if that's true. Hey, hold on, though. Even if that's true, even if it's not sour grapes, which we all know there's a lot of sour grapes when it comes to recruiting. And I'm not
There's
saying
a lot. Hold on, Andrew. There's a lot of sour grapes with a lot of guys that played for Brian Kelly.
He still went there. So, and he played him. It wasn't like Brian Kelly put him on the bench and said, "Go fuck yourself." He played him.
Hold on, Andrew. He did not play him. Deshaun Kaiser got in the game because the kid broke his ankle. Okay, that's why Deshaun Kaiser played. And then the next year, the kid broke his freaking ankle. He broke his after the Texas game with Malik Zaire. He broke his ankle. Kaiser had to play, and then Kaiser played his balls off for Kelly. And then the next year, he still made him work in a quarterback competition when it was clear as freaking day the guy had nowhere near being with Kaiser. Kaiser should have been a number 1 pick in the NFL, and the reason he wasn't and the reason he failed is 10,000 times percent Brian Kelly.
You see, I disagree with that. I agree with your first statement that I guess he was only going to play Kaiser after Zaire got his ankle hurt, but he was Kaiser all the way the next year. Nobody was pushing Kaiser the next year. The next year it was a defensive problem. Remember, it was Brian Van Gorder, and it was just ridiculous. Kaiser was still putting up pretty good numbers.
Compete against Zaire. Zaire couldn't throw the football, and he still had to play against him. He still said, "Well, we got a quarterback competition." No, there was no quarterback competition. Kaiser was the best quarterback that Kelly ever had at Notre Dame, and he effed him up.
I don't think he effed him up. I don't
totally effed him up. It's not even debatable.
Oh, this show is so fantastic. I just love this. This is beautiful.
Well, here. Let me end on this. John, I do think you should comment on the fact that Parker has decided to go with Tommy Rees's offense. We'll see. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the whole point of Tommy Rees, the entire reason why he's the offensive coordinator of Alabama is he runs a pro style offense. And so it's like when I hear something like that, I'm like that's in the mind of Tommy Rees. Like, he's figured out pro style offense. Like, why do we need to be running a pro style offense just to say that we're running a pro style offense? I think that's stupid. Look at Tennessee. They were a loser team for so many years, and then they brought in Josh Heupel, who runs a clearly college-style offense, and then they win 11 games last year. So it's like, you know what? Why go with offense?
No, wait. Okay, wait. All right. Wait. I got a question, Pat. I got a question for both you, Andrew and Pat. Here's my question. How realistic I don't know the answer to this. I never claimed this show is an X's and O's show. I know that's not my strength. I have a genuine question for you two guys. What are the realistic chances that Parker would be on the staff and everything would go down the bizarre way that it did that led to him being the OC, and then he's going to change everything they did last year and have his, like, how realistic did you think that was realistic? Because I didn't. I figured the second we didn't get Ludwig and I knew we were getting Parker, I just defaulted to figuring it's going to look a lot like it was last year. Hopefully we're just more efficient. Like, I don't know how realistic it was for me to expect something to look vastly different. What do you guys think? I didn't really expect that.
Well, I think that I would have expected Parker, who used to be an offensive coordinator somewhere, to have his own offense, but he's clearly running the same offense. And I've heard from multiple sources that he's running the same offense. And in fact, like, there's a guy who I really like, Bud Elliott from 247. He's like, you know what? I really would have liked Notre Dame, but like, they're running the same offense. It's like, of course, Buckner left. And it's like, I'm not a Buckner defender. I'm a Sam Hartman guy, but like, of course he left. Like, And that's why it was stupid for Buckner to go to Alabama. He can't play in that offense, but it's a pro. The whole point of Tommy Rees is that he's in college and he's taken pro style contests and he's put it into college. So it's like, why are you running this? It's like, unless like he's really figured out how to learn at the feet of Tommy Rees, it's like, I think we might have some issues next year unless this guy's like going to surprise us. I'm really surprised that it was not a totally different offense. Like I'm actually
I'm not surprised.
And like that's why I like the fact that he went after Ludwig and he went after the Kansas State guy. Like these were very unique, cool offenses that were run for the personnel that they had on the field. That's why he was doing it. He was not. I don't think that Marcus Freeman cares about what type of offense. He wants to bring in a offensive coordinator that knows what they're doing and like you can evaluate the offensive talent on the field. That we're going to run the offense that makes the most sense. But instead, like, so maybe it's like an admission that Reese's offense was the right offense for this style of.
All right, now wait, Andrew. All right, let me push. Wait, time out, Pat.
Don't shut up.
Time out, Pat. You get your time in 1 minute.
This is your show.
This in here, Andrew. When I think about the dynamic you're setting up, here's my thought. I want to see what this Tommy Rees. Pat, put your leg down. Nobody wants to see that shit. Put your leg down. God dang. Nobody wants to see your skin, okay? Here's the thing. Are you open to the idea that a Tommy Rees offense that we all didn't love might look a lot better if it had a quarterback that could actually get the ball where it needs to be, and that it might actually work here if you have a guy that could actually distribute and run those plays the way they're supposed to be run? Like I want to see what that offense looks like with a real quarterback, and I don't feel like I've gotten that yet.
I agree. I think that, but the only thing that scares me is that, like, the whole point of Tommy Rees's offense was like he would call genius plays that were like, would set up and guy be wide open for a touchdown and stuff like that. But you don't, if you're running Tommy Rees's offense, but you don't have Tommy Rees, maybe that's a problem. And I'm not saying that Tommy Rees is a genius. That's why I'm like, you better make it your own offense. You know what I mean? Don't be running his freaking bullshit offense, like run your own, so that's what worries me a little bit. Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
Oh, okay. It's Parker's offense. All right. It might be time. It's Parker's offense. I gotta calm down because I'm like riding high right now, and I just need to take a breath. Okay. It's Marcus Freeman's offense. Marcus Freeman wants this offense. This is what he wants. He wants to run the football. He wants to control the clock. He wants to be able to throw situationally. But if he's down, he wants to go fast. That's what he's trying to build this offense for. That's why he was keeping Tommy Rees, and Tommy goes to Alabama, and that's why he brought in Andrew Ludwig, that's why he wanted to bring in Ludwig, because Ludwig has the same offense. If you look at what Utah did, you go back and you watch the film, you see what that offense was. It's the exact same style offense. It's a shotgun pro style RPO offense. That's exactly what it was. And it's exactly what Tommy Rees ran at Notre Dame. It's what he's going to run in Alabama. And that's what Jared Parker's going to run at Notre Dame. And Parker's going to run at Notre Dame not because it's his offense, it's because that's what Marcus Freeman wants. So you keep going on and on about how I wish Freeman would hire an offensive coordinator that would run his offense. He got an offensive coordinator. Shut up, John. I see the comment. He got an offense that is going to run the offense that Freeman wants. Just like Brian Kelly used to hire defensive coordinators that would run the defense that he wants. Just like every coach ever in the history of time has hired people in a vision to do a thing that they want. Freeman wants to control the line of scrimmage. That's where it starts. He wants to control the line of scrimmage. So he wants a power run game. He wants to put Esme back there, put the ball in his gut, and have him pound the ball for 6-7 yards of play. And then if he has to throw play action to score a touchdown. And if he gets down, he wants to spread his wide receivers out and fling that rock.
So with all due respect to Pat, there's
no due respect to Pat.
His timeline is off. They offered the job to Kansas State's offensive coordinator first, who ran a completely different offensive system, and they didn't. I mean, I remember reading into it. They didn't want to hire him because they said bring your Kansas State offense with you. Why they liked him was that he had a certain type of talent on the field. They were like, geez, you have like these two quarterbacks that can't throw very well, but they can run, and you got Deuce whatever, like as your running back. And that guy ran the perfect offense, and they won a fucking 11 games. So they're like,
that's not what he was hiring.
Is that your ideology? And they're like, no, actually, we just ran the offense that fit our offense, and so that's why Marcus Freeman wanted him.
And that's why. And
same thing with Andy Ludwig. Andy Ludwig turned Cam Rising from a transfer loser into a Heisman Trophy candidate. It's like, how'd you do that? Oh, I took what he does best and I made it into an offense. It's like, that was a good instinct, but instead we don't end up with either one of them. We end up with Parker, his best friend, who's decided to run Tommy Rees's exact same offense. And that's my criticism. I'm like, Jesus, we end up with the same thing. It's because maybe Freeman doesn't give a fuck about offense.
Always going to end up with the same thing.
Wait. Isn't this whole timeline interrupted by the Ludwig thing? I feel like we're having a discussion speaking as if that PR nightmare did not force other moves. Am I wrong?
No, but Kansas State happened first. They tried for Kansas State before they tried for Ludwig.
And John, I was
for the right reason. He tried to pick the best offensive coordinator because you know why? You don't pick offensive coordinators for systems. You pick them, especially nowadays where they only are around for 2 or 3 years. You pick them for the talent you have on your team.
You know what offensive coordinators do?
Yeah.
You know what offensive coordinators do? Offensive coordinators adapt to the system that that they want to be ran, and then they apply that to the offense. That guy, he didn't turn down Notre Dame. He didn't turn down Notre Dame because of Catholics. He turned down Notre Dame because he didn't want to run that offense. Freeman was saying to him, come here.
That's bullshit.
That's why he turned down Notre Dame. That is why he turned down Notre Dame. He didn't want to run the offense that Marcus wanted.
Wait, Pat, what are you saying? Wait. Pat, what are you saying? Wait, you're saying
Marcus wanted his.
I got to understand this, Pat. You're saying they wanted Klein to come, but to not run his offense?
He wanted Klein to come for the creativity.
Yeah,
whoa.
No.
It's not.
If you're interested in Klein, it should be because of the offense he ran that makes you interested in it. And then you want that guy to run it here with better talent, right?
It's the creativity.
Right?
It's about the play calling. It's about the imagination.
Good enough. Hey, John, the money wasn't good enough. It's like
don't do that to me, Andrew. Don't do that to me. It's been 3 hours I've been on this line. Do not trigger me with the Notre Dame won't pay people. I can't handle it this late. Don't trigger me with that.
Yeah.
Don't trigger me with that. But wait,
he would have gone if like you pay him money. Yeah.
But Pat, like, how would it make any sense, Pat, for you to go want to interview Klein off the offense he ran there, but then when he comes here, you tell me you can't run that? That makes no sense to me.
He's a play caller. It's about play calling.
I don't like that. I think you brought that guy in there to bring a little something different in, or you wouldn't be interested in him.
It wouldn't have matched the roster. It wouldn't match the roster. It wouldn't match the capability of what Notre Dame has. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Klein has never made sense. He's never made sense for what Notre Dame.
Then why was Notre Dame interested at all?
The creativity.
And I was open to that. And it didn't work out for whatever reason.
And it didn't work out. So what did they do? They went to Ludwig. Ludwig, 30 years. He's Tommy Rees, 30 years older.
Andrew, that's a good question.
30 years older.
Question. Please tell me how we know he was offered. Is it just speculation, or do you have inside information?
I don't have inside information, but I was on Blue and Gold, like the message board, and I'm pretty sure that they offered him.
I was told,
no.
listen,
they had him in South Bend. They had him in South Bend. Like he came and visited.
My contact told me, get ready to announce Klein. If you want to pre-record a video so you're ready to go when it's announced, go ahead, because it's going to be Klein. I was told expect it to be Klein, and then that all changed. I don't know what went wrong, but my main recruiting guy that leaks me information said expect it to be Klein, and then it wasn't. It got declined. The
one cynical thing that I read was that Klein and Marcus Freeman have the same agent. And so a lot of people thought, oh, he's giving a courtesy call to Klein so that he can renegotiate his contract with Kansas State to get a better deal. But I don't believe that. He's the first guy that Notre Dame called.
Dude, that would be upsetting to me, man. Yeah. If you're playing games at that high of a level to do that, that would be a little rough. I wouldn't like that.
But John, you have to understand those games get played a lot, especially with someone like Marcus Freeman, who's a first-year head coach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't think that he's on top of the world. Like, there's a lot of games getting played. I bet you Marcus Freeman, when he wins his first 11-game season, he's going to fire his agent. He's going to hire Jimmy Sexton, who's going to be like the best college football agent. Jimmy Sexton is not his agent. The guy that negotiates all those ridiculous deals for football coaches. So I think that Notre Dame fans need to really realize for a second that Notre Dame ain't what it used to be. It's you got to win. You got to win, and you got to pay these guys. So, all right, and I'll let you go after that.
Hey, the money. Hey, yeah. Andrew, I'm never, ever going to listen to anybody tell me money is a reason Notre Dame can't do football things. I absolutely refuse to accept it when every time I get off that damn toll road, there's 4 new buildings being built. Not a one of them says football facility. Okay? I'm never gonna accept the money's an issue. I refuse.
Well, then why did Ludwig his whole bullshit happen?
I don't know.
That's where we're trying to save money for the organization.
Something went wrong. Something went wrong.
It was embarrassing. Hey, that's what it was.
You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me it was embarrassing. I went off on it, and I took all sorts of heat for it. And I don't care.
That's the type of guy. And honestly, I'll leave you on this, man. That's the guy they should have as offensive coordinator. Somebody who has been around the block a few times and knows the personnel. You know what? This personnel should be this. This personnel should be that. You know what? They made a big mistake by hiring within. It's I just think I'm worried that their offense might stall because they're running the wrong system, not because Hartman's bad or any of the other players are bad. We're running fucking Tommy Rees's system. And it's Andy Ludwig, the whole reason why you want a Ludwig is that
to run Tommy Rees's
system.
All right, Tommy Rees's system. All right. It's the same damn offense.
Andrew, here's how we're going to wrap this up. Really good call. You always think your things out. It's always controversial. It always has a good angle. Your philosophies are consistent. Let me give you this as we end. You don't like keeping this Tommy Rees offense going. But I feel like I really haven't seen what the Tommy Rees offense even looks like when it's ran correctly, because I don't feel like we've had a quarterback that can actually do it the right way. True. So Tommy isn't here, but I'm interested to see Tommy's offense with the guy that can actually throw the ball like a real world quarterback. Let me see it and then see if I like it or not.
Logic.
I agree.
What are you doing to that microphone, Pat? Jesus. Andrew,
it's good to talk to you, man. It's good. Andrew, it's really good to talk to you, buddy. I appreciate this. This was fun.
Andrew, you're fantastic. Call anytime, chat anytime. Every time you call, it's well thought out. Even if people agree, your philosophies are always consistent. I appreciate you a lot, man. We got to meet up. Come to Central Michigan.
Definitely, dude.
Wait,
Love
not
you.
the
Sean,
state,
you're the
not the
best.
state,
Best.
to Notre Dame when they come here. I don't want you to physically, I don't want you to physically have to go into Michigan. You come here and hang out with me and Pat when they're here. How about that? Do it, man.
There you go.
I love you guys. You guys are the best Notre Dame show by far, and thank you for having me. Really
Andrew,
appreciate it.
fantastic
Andrew,
call.
it's a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
buddy. It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
I
thanks a
enjoyed
lot,
it.
man.
I enjoyed
Appreciate
it.
Man, I mean, I'm sorry, Pat. We gave him a lot of time.
Man,
I had to, though, because he always
was
has
good. That was
like
good.
things that stir up shit. I like it. All right, I got one more call I have to get to,
right.
and then that's going to be it. We've gone 3 hours.
Hold on. Before you get
What?
to this call, you and I have to fight over the NBC contract.
Go ahead.
Okay. You did the video, and
Hold on. 574. You're going to be it, just so you know. So
okay.
stay tuned.
All right, so I'll try to hit this quick because you and I were texting about this earlier today. You said that you're good to go on from NBC because you like the Peacock stuff and NBC doesn't prioritize Notre Dame. I think you look at it completely wrong. And
Okay.
because the promotion, like I understand your point with the Collinsworth. I think that's just them giving it to his dad, saying, here, we'll put your kid on and we'll pay you like $1 million less.
And
than
wait, what's the idea there? That by proxy, I'm like gonna accept that it's just his kid and I can barely hear him announce the game, and because he went to Notre Dame, I'm supposed to blindly accept that? He ain't ready.
The kid,
He ain't ready for the big time.
I agree.
This is Notre Dame football.
I
Put
agree.
that on, or give me
don't-
somebody real.
He's
Not ready. It offends me. Just because your dad's a big shot at NBC doesn't mean I get the kid.
I told you because I get him to yell. I hear you. But you're looking at it backwards. Angela, dial the number.
Looking at it frontwards.
No, you're looking at it like NBC is not promoting Notre Dame, but in actuality, NBC is using Notre Dame to promote themselves because that's what Notre Dame has always been. 30 years, it's almost like 35 years ago now, Notre Dame entered into a contract with Notre Dame. It's never happened before. What Notre Dame and NBC did has never happened. And everyone cried and bitched and moaned saying, this is unfair. Notre Dame's going to get so much access and coverage and everything else. It's actually like the worst thing that ever happened for Notre Dame, apparently, because they haven't won since they entered that contract. But it's always been like Notre Dame and NBC. Notre Dame's always on. Notre Dame's everywhere. Notre Dame is on every week. You never miss a Notre Dame game.
Hey, 25 years ago, I would have really been excited about that. Now that schools I've never heard of are on every channel every week, it doesn't mean as much, Pat. You're speaking like you're 25 years ago. You're wearing the New Balances I bitched about. You're talking like an old guy. 20 years ago, what you said applied. It doesn't apply now. Teams I've never heard of are on TV every damn week. It has no cachet anymore. None. Zero.
And I agree. But I think, again, you're looking at it wrong. NBC uses Notre Dame. That's the problem. That's the problem with the relationship. NBC uses Notre Dame. The reason Notre Dame doesn't, first of all, so I did some research today. I looked over 25 years of college football games. All right. I did my own math, so it's probably wrong. Top 10 teams, top 10 watch games over the last 25 years. Notre Dame has had 3 games on NBC in the top 10, average top 3 games over the last 25 years. If you go to top 15 or top 20 teams, they almost have 4 games a season that are top 20 games. Do you think NBC is sleeping on that? Do you think they're sleeping? Do you think they're not promoting Notre Dame football on that? Do you think that just happens because people hate Notre Dame? Because I know you don't think it's because people love Notre Dame. This relationship benefits Notre Dame. I'm not saying
I can get it on any channel. What does it have to be that one for? I can get that relationship from any channel. Why am I married to the dumb Peacock?
No,
Pat?
I'm not disagreeing that you can't be married to the dumb.
It could be any channel. Why is it that one that I have to?
It can now. It can now because it built it for it. It's all about the brand. It's all about just like you want the little just like you want the little Jordan mascot right here. It's all about the brand. And NBC built a brand. They built a brand. They built Notre Dame. Come on, you get goosebumps. You get
NBC built Notre Dame.
1993. John, how many times in your life have you watched that 1993 opening against Florida
So
State?
what? The 93, 03, 13, 23, 3 decades ago. What does it say about you that the best thing you could bring up about it was something 30 years ago, Patrick?
Do you? Let me ask you this question: do you think NBC won't pay the $75 million?
It's a big gap from 22 to 75. If they want to negotiate,
you know what the problem? You know what the problem with that gap? You know what the problem with that gap was? Notre Dame. They weren't asking for it. They weren't asking for it. I think Notre Dame gets that money without a doubt.
Man, but it's a big jump from 22 to 75.
That's not a big jump. It's not. First of all, there's two reasons they're going to get that money. Number one, because it's Notre Dame. Number two, because NBC entered a contract with the Big Ten, and the Big Ten wants Notre Dame so bad. They're going to lean on NBC so hard.
And you know why?
They're going to get that
Every
money.
week is a rivalry game. Then every single week is a rivalry game.
Yes.
I get that. But I'm just saying,
Notre Dame's getting paid. They're getting paid.
Pat, if NBC wants to pay the 75, fine, I'll deal with whatever. The 75 gets us close to the 90 the Big Ten has. I can live with it. And I'll deal with an announcing booth that puts me to sleep. If the numbers help Notre Dame compete, I'll deal. Listen, Pat, my number one priority is that the deal provides Notre Dame enough finances. They don't fall perpetually behind everybody else. Okay.
They're never going to. They're worth $8 billion.
22 million, 90 million, Pat. You can't fall 70 million behind Rutgers.
I understand your point. Notre Dame
can't fall 70 million behind Rutgers every year, Pat.
No, I hear you. Look, if
what Fox I want in the booth, wait. When Fox lost with Michigan and Ohio State playing at noon on Sunday or on Saturday, Fox will pay Notre Dame in a heartbeat. Notre Dame is not short. Notre Dame is not short for offers. CBS lost the SEC. There are two gigantic networks that got all the money in the world. Notre Dame's going to get their money, and they're going to get it from NBC because they know those two networks are looking for Notre Dame. They're looking for it. I am willing to put aside
uniforms.
I am Pat. If NBC ponies up the money to where we could be independent, still remain independent, entering the new playoff era, and the money keeps us competitive with the Big Ten payouts, I'm willing to not be thrilled with the booth and go along because big picture, I realize Notre Dame will be okay and they're in the ballpark. But I do take it personally. The booth has no balls, no gravitas. It ain't Chris Collinsworth. It's his kid. And they sold it. But just because he went to Notre Dame, I'm supposed to love him no matter what.
Honestly, when you take outside of Mike Tirico, I barely
hear him announcing over the loud game.
But John, outside of Mike Tirico, has that booth ever been good?
You know what, Pat? Even the pale ghost of Pat Hammond made me feel like something bigger was going on than Jack Collinsworth.
With Pat Hayden?
Even Pat Hammond, the old ghost who only does Olympic sports now, he made it sound like something bigger was going on than this. It sounds like tryouts. It sounds like tryouts for announcing.
I understand your point. I don't disagree with that. But Notre Dame's going to get paid. They're going to get paid by NBC, and it's not even because of Notre Dame. It's going to be because of the Big Ten.
Now, here's what I'm open to, Pat.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's obviously not going to join in that Big Ten deal. They're not in the Big Ten. But since NBC is now going to have Big Ten programming, is there any way at all to kind of connect those two and everybody benefits? And then you have the Notre Dame angle, you had the Big Ten angle all tied into NBC. Build something together where everybody wins.
I think the way the broadcasting will work is that unless like Notre Dame has a USC or an Ohio State or a Clemson in-house to make them the feature night game, it's gonna be a noon kick for a Big Ten team. Don't forget, like the NBC has like they have their other channels. I can't even remember what they are, but they have other channels that they're gonna put games on, and it's gonna be a noon kick. The Notre Dame at the 3:30 kick. It might actually settle our kickoff times because sometimes we're 2:30, sometimes we're 3:30, depending where your coast is at. And so you're going to get a more consistency with the kick time, and then they're going to have that night game. So NBC is going to be nice thing about NBC. It's going to be Notre Dame it's going to be college football all day. And CBS has got to get back in the game, but Fox is going to be college football all day. ESPN is going to be college football all day. ABC is going to be college football all day. So Saturday is going to be really nice.
So wait, you think the ultimate likely ending is they do agree with NBC again, re-up, and it's in the ballpark?
Oh yeah, it'll be the number. I bet you. I would not be surprised at all if Notre Dame got a bigger offer from her already. Bigger offer.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know, but somebody's going to pay it. It's Notre Dame.
Again, to your point, if Rutgers, this goes back to the Notre Dame being like every year NBC is in the top 3 or 4 broadcasts of college football. The only college football they've been playing is Notre Dame, and they're in that. So if they get that every year out of Notre Dame, you can't. Fox has got to look at that and say, we just lost the Big Ten, and we can get the 3 best broadcasts if we just sign one school. Why pay $90 million to Rutgers if we can get Notre Dame and pay? Let's pay Notre Dame $90 million. Fine. Because then we don't have to pay 16 schools or 14 schools or 12 schools the $90 million each. Are you kidding me? Notre Dame's that just all this has done is evaluated Notre Dame so much higher. They're just so much bigger.
Listen, I am more than happy to give up my announcing booth complaints if the trade-off is Notre Dame signs a deal that keeps them in that Big Ten payout ballpark.
I don't think there's an issue with that.
As long as they do. And listen, Pat, as much as I question Jack sometimes, he knows these numbers and he knows what's at stake.
Oh, yeah.
He'll make sure. But I am more than willing to settle for a lesser booth if we have the money. All right, last call of the night, Pat. This guy's been waiting almost 3 hours. Jesus, 574. You're on the air.
How's it going, guys?
I'm so sorry I made you wait this long. One thing led to another, but I wanted to make sure you got on. I'm sorry. What's going on, man?
I think this is my first time calling with Pat.
Yep, he's a new addition. I mean, he's kind of a prick, but he's our prick.
So I've been hearing about the Under Armour situation, that their Notre Dame's contract is expiring. That then maybe, I think they moved to Nike personally. I don't think Adidas. I don't think they'll go back to that. I think Nike is just a better. Honestly, I just think Nike is the better brand overall. Like I like Under Armour clothes. Like I would wear some Under Armour. Like if it's Notre Dame, I don't mind it, but I prefer Nike over Under Armour. So I think.
Wait, let me ask you this. Wait.
Nike.
Let me ask you this. Where does Jordan Brand fall in that? That's an extension of Nike.
No, it's Nike.
Is that under the same umbrella? No, Pat.
It is Nike.
No, shut up, Pat. There's a big difference between a Nike swoosh and a Jumpman. Those send totally different signals, Pat. The Jumpman, I do not think is the equivalent of a Nike swoosh. If it was, it'd be the same logo. Those are different to me. Jordan is connected to Nike, but it's still a different concept. Those are whole different avenues to me. Don't lump those together. Jumpman's different to me. It has a whole different lane available to you with Jumpman.
Yeah, the same guy's a billionaire off it.
Who? Oregon?
Yeah. Phil Knight and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Oregon. Anyways, caller, what do you think about that? Are you linking Jordan and Nike together or not?
I mean, they have different logos. I mean, but I guess they're kind of basically the same.
What about New Balance?
Logos,
what about New Balance?
Don't knock my shoes, John. Don't knock my shoes.
Hey, listen up,
I
old
cut
man.
my grass today.
Hey, go fire up the weed eater, you geezer.
I did.
Yeah, get your old ass out there in them ugly ass square New Balances with no style.
New Balance makes some nice golf shoes.
Pull your socks up to your knees, you old man.
Yeah. I personally think Nike is overall the better brand, but yeah, I gotta guess that both of the brands are kind of the same, even though they're different, like logos. I'd basically say they're kind of the same.
Let me ask you this, caller.
Brand.
What the hell happened, Pat? Did you just get struck by lightning? What happened at your house? What the hell happened?
My shit turned off. Hold on.
What happened? Did you just get struck by lightning? Anyways, Pat, you look better in the dark. Keep it that way. Damn it. Anyways.
I'm so old. I have automatic timers on my lights.
Dude, you're the oldest under 40-year-old I know. Caller, let me ask you this. When I look at this, I have a strong inclination that whatever Notre Dame does for this deal, they find a way to tie NIL into it. I think this is an opportunity for Notre Dame to parlay this deal into some sort of NIL angle, either with Nike and all their resources or the Jordan brand or whatever. I hope Notre Dame could do it.
Yes, I hope so as well. They're with Adidas for how many years?
Too many. Their stuff was boring. They had no cutting edge. Adidas was just boring.
My mom wants
really
to go back to Champion.
But Champion, I know. Champion's making a renaissance, but not in actual production of athletic gear. More like retro stuff. Yeah, Pat, you're that old. It ain't 1991. Hit the clapper 2 times and the lights go off. You're such an old man.
I like that you saw that.
How do you get your wheelchair up the stairs? Jesus.
I got one of those machines.
There goes Grandma right up the wall. There goes Pat. Jeez, unbelievable. What do you want to see him do for the TV deal, caller?
I would really like them to, honestly, go join Nike.
Yeah, but what about the TV? What about the TV end? You want him to stay with NBC? You thinking ESPN? What do you want him to do?
I mean, they've been with NBC for quite a while now.
Yeah, you open to seeing something new, a new production?
Yeah, I think you said ESPN, right?
I'm just throwing out ideas. It'd be interesting to see ESPN have to flip into pro Notre Dame mode. It'd be interesting to see that narrative.
It'll never be.
I really like.
Never do it.
What do you really like?
I really like.
What? What do you want him on Playboy TV or something, or HBO? What are we doing here?
No, if Notre Dame, if we were to join, let's say like the Big Ten, and we had I like Gus Johnson and Joe Clapp.
What the hell brand is Adidas?
Adidas. Adidas.
You know what? It's getting late on a Saturday night, man. But I'm like, I was looking at it going, who the hell is Adidas?
John, bars
I'm
don't
is
close
that
for
a
like
new
2 more
recruit?
hours.
Who's Adidas? What?
Bars
Matt?
don't close for 2 more hours.
Huh?
Bars don't close for 2 more hours.
Yeah, unfortunately, your electricity does.
But I wanted to kind of talk about, obviously the whole Marcus Freeman hiring, Gerard Parker.
Yeah, what do you think?
Whatnot. I disagree when people say that he's not a good hire, because I don't think, first of all, Tommy Rees wasn't doing anything for us. He wasn't elite. He didn't do anything elite at Notre Dame whatsoever. So I don't really care that he left, but I'm just happy that, because I think Marcus Freeman is smart enough to, if he didn't think he was good enough, I don't think he would have hired him.
I think
That's my opinion.
I think that's a fair point. Tommy Rees, whatever.
Go, Pat. I'll be back in 1 minute. Take it.
You got to go. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad point as far as Marcus Freeman wouldn't hire a guy if he didn't think he was the right guy for the job. I think that's a fair point. Forget Tommy Rees, whatever. He's gone, whatever. It's whatever. But I think that Freeman knows what he's getting with Parker, and Freeman wants what Parker's going to give him. So yeah, we can call it Tommy Rees's offense, whatever. It's Parker's offense now. Just like when Brian Kelly left, it's no longer Brian Kelly's football team. It's Marcus Freeman's football team. I don't care if Brian Kelly recruited the players. It's Marcus Freeman's football team. And so I think it's just disingenuous to say that it's Tommy Rees's offense. It's not, because he's not here. It's the people who are here coaching this team, running this team. Those are the people who are responsible for it. And the last coach, he's gone. He's gone. So now we got to take ownership. The guy who's here has to take ownership.
Yes, I agree with that. Like, Tommy Rees is gone now. This is Gerard Parker's, offense.
Agreed.
And obviously, Tommy Rees is at Alabama now, so that's going to be under his offense.
Right. Exactly. That's Alabama's problem now. Whether you like Tommy or you hate Tommy, it's Alabama's problem, not Notre Dame's problem. Notre Dame has to worry about what they're doing on the football field, and they have to, and the coaching staff has to take ownership of it. And whatever this offense looks like, just because Tommy Rees coached this team and recruited these guys, that doesn't mean that. And just because Parker is running the offense a similar way that Tommy did, it doesn't mean he's going to call plays the same way. It doesn't mean it's going to run the same way. It's going to be different.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I just disagree when people say that, this is, Tommy Rees's offense still, but
it's not. It's Jared Parker's offense. That's the way. That was my biggest dispute with Andrew. It's Jared Parker's offense. All right, he's the offensive coordinator now. Is the play calling is the terminology the same? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not in the offensive coordinator room. I'm not in the quarterback coach room.
Wait. Here's my point. You could call it Dr. John. You know what, Pat? Dr. John, I'm telling you what, man.
John, this is how sick the both of us are. We both saw that and just lost it.
I saw it at the exact same time, Dr. John. What do you want me to do, Dr. John? Put a bucket under the desk? Unbelievable. We both saw it at the exact same time. It's like he knew. What do you want me to do? Get the Whizzinator and have the stadium buddy where you could go in your seat? Give me a break, Dr. John. It's been a long 3 hours and 23 minutes. Give me a damn break, bud.
This is fantastic.
This is unbelievable. But wait, all right. I have a real serious question.
Okay.
You talk about Tommy Reese's offense, or is it Parker's offense? Whatever. I don't care whose offense it is. Give me an actual quarterback that could whiz the ball around like a real top-level team. I have not seen that anytime recent in Notre Dame.
I
think it's all going to look different.
Fantastic,
You got
John.
a guy that can get
John,
the
that's
ball
actually-
where it
John,
needs to go for once.
That's actually a fantastic question because the question was, well, I shouldn't say always, but the question was once Buckner committed, it was, all right, now we get to see Reese. Now we get to see Reese with this guy. He gets to see Reese with a quarterback, a guy who can actually throw the football.
Yeah.
All right.
5 years later and half my hairline later, here I am still waiting.
Reese is gone. We still have the same problem or the same question. It's still the same. It's still the same avenue we got to go down. Finally have the quarterback. Can this offense match? The only thing that changes is the offensive coordinator. So the only thing that changes is the guy calling the play. Can this offense match what we want? That's what it is. That's all.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. What do you think, caller?
Yeah, man. Like I always said, like I always got the vibe that when Tommy Reese was here, like when he was at Notre Dame, like I felt like I got this vibe anyway. I don't know how you guys feel, but I got this vibe that he was trying to basically outcoach, trying to make it look like he should have got the head coaching job as opposed to Marcus Freeman.
I mean,
and he was trying to tell him,
listen, there are theories.
He's been there longer.
There are theories. I have had people I cannot verify this. I have had people tell me there was a little bit of friction of Reese feeling like he was head coach AB, and like Freeman was head coach 1A. He felt like he was head coach AB, and there was a little bit of friction about him feeling like I've been here longer and I kind of have some say in what goes on. But with Freeman there, I don't know whether that's true or not, but I have heard Reese had a little bit of that in him, and I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard sources from other sources that Marcus Freeman and Tommy Reese actually got into an argument after the Marshall game. So I don't know.
I have heard
that's why the offense had changed.
I have heard that.
Drastically.
I heard it, but not from the usual people that I rely on for that stuff. I did hear it, but not from my main people who drop me hints in the building. I didn't hear it from them, but I've heard that out there, but not from my like most trusted people. So I don't know if that helps or not.
So here's my comment on that. Here's my comment on that. Fine, good. The offense sucked. Oh, come on. You really?
He ain't wrong.
This is
He ain't
this,
wrong.
This is
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong, Pat. Oh man, that's bad. Oh boy, it's been a long night.
Here's my point. I'm gonna go back to being serious. Fine, good. You think every head coach and coordinator have shut up, John.
I'm not saying a word. I'm just picturing it. I'm not saying a word. I'm just picturing the evidence.
I had to pee. I was like Forrest Gump drinking Dr.
Lord.
Peppers. No, but like, if that's true, Dr. John, no, I had to pee. If that's true that Freeman and Reese got into an argument, good. That's Freeman's job. Like, again, we had when I called in on, I think it was on Friday, and we had the same thing. It was like, do you not expect do you not expect coaches to get into arguments with each other? Like that's totally agreeable. Like that's what happens. I fight with people all the time with the people I work with. I love that you're human as a chance to 24
We are what we are, Angela.
Yeah, I know, Angela.
We are what we are.
Angela. I'm pissing her off. See, Angela doesn't like it when I call her Angela. So I'm pissing her off. But no, like good. These guys should fight. Coaches should disagree. The head coach. I mean, did you watch it? Did you watch the video? I think it was the Marshall game when Freeman turns around and goes, "That was just effing dumb." Yeah, he should have been pissed at his offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he should have been pissed at his offensive coordinator.
Listen, I think these guys
Angela.
These guys just might both be better off doing their own things. Let Freeman assert control, put his DNA in this program and his image without any shreds of Kelly-ness left, which is all all Reese is Kelly-ness to me as a player, as a recruit, as a player, and as a coach. And that rubs me the wrong way. Let him spread his wings out of the dome. Let me have a break from Kelly, a clean break from Kelly. Let Reese spread his wings. Let us get some new going on. What?
John, fine. What? I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. That is all fine. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm happy for Tommy. I think he put himself in a position to succeed. I think moving to Alabama was the right choice for him. I do not think him going to Alabama is a result of anything you saw this year from him and Freeman. I do not believe in any part of me that, it is a result. It is a result of friction for him and Tommy, or for him and Marcus. That is not, I do not think that's the case at all. And everything those guys have ever said publicly has always been the utmost respect. And I know the first thing I always hear is, well, of course, what are they going to dog on each other? Both of those guys have dogged on Kelly. Both of those guys. So there's no reason to believe that if they're both going to dog on Kelly, they wouldn't dog on each other.
I mean, that's fine. I want Tommy to succeed.
Exactly.
I want Tommy to succeed. I am
all I
nothing
ask Notre Dame fans.
But also
support Tommy.
What?
Support him in Alabama as long as it doesn't inflict in what Notre Dame does.
Yeah, well, I wanted to support him here while supporting elite offense production. And we just never got it for a multitude of reasons, some involving Kelly, maybe some Reese, but for whatever reason, the entirety of Tommy Reese's Notre Dame-ness has been non-elite as a player and as a coach. I'm ready for something new. I'm open to it. That's all.
Yes, I want something new. I want all the memories of Brian Kelly.
You know what's new? I'm going to give you something new. Notre Dame actually has a starting quarterback that can throw the ball around like a real athlete. How about that? You might have an offense that can actually push the ball down the field and like actually complete deep passes. Have you ever heard of like a crossing pattern, catching a wide receiver in stride where he can run after the catch? Have you ever heard of that? We might actually see it for once. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. Like, I'm really excited, for the season. Like, of course, people have their concerns, which I have my concerns, about the defense, about them being too loose at times. But the Ohio State game, obviously, that's going to be the game where we actually see what it's going to be like. But
Pat, go ahead. Go ahead, Pat. Do it. I'm not doing it, Pat. I've done it too many times. You can handle this one. You're the guest, Pat. You're my guest. I'm going to let you handle it.
There is no person in this world who can say that Tommy Reese leaving Notre Dame to go to Alabama. All right. Tom Hanks, Alabama is a lateral. It's a lateral move. There's no way in hell that's a lateral move. It's the SEC. It's Nick Saban. It's the biggest program in the goddamn country. That is not a lateral move. He is not a traitor. All he has done is promoted Notre Dame, the best goddamn coach in the goddamn history of college football, hired your offensive coordinator. And if you're going to call that a lateral move and name that man a traitor, you don't understand what he has done for Notre Dame.
Wait a second. You said the best coach in college football. I didn't know Frank Leahy hired him. That's odd to me. I thought Frankie Boy was dead. That's odd to me, but okay, that's fine, Pat.
Wait, is he saying that Tommy Reese is a great coach?
No, he's saying that Nick Saban
there's a guy in Alabama called Nick
like on the upper
Saban,
echelon, and he wanted him.
Well, just because. I'm just going to say this.
Wait, hey, Pat, wasn't it his third or fourth choice, though, Pat? How are you going to answer that? I heard that wasn't even his first or second choice.
I heard a lot of things, but I wasn't in the room, so I can't answer that question.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything else, caller? What do you think?
Yeah, I just got to say this. Like, just because, and this is going to be the last thing on Tommy Reese, but just because Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time, hires Tommy Reese doesn't mean it's a great decision.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? We're going to see what that offense looks like. It's going to look a lot more Notre Dame-y. I know that, especially if Buckner gets that job. It's going to be a Notre Dame Alabama feel.
I just got
and a Notre Dame LSU coach. What's going on in the SEC and ND?
I just got yelled at by my wife.
Yeah, good. You should. Jeez, give me a break. All right, my friend. Hey, thanks for the call. I think we're about to wrap it up here. I'm not going 4 hours tonight. 3.5 is pretty good.
What else you got to do?
Not hang out with you. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, yep, I'll call again.
Beautiful, man. Hit me up next week. You know the time. You're always there. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, baby.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, go Irish.
Go Irish.
Hey, Johnny.
Hold on, Pat. It's interesting that this comes up.
Oh, it's about time.
Just today, I was going back and forth with my design lady, renovating some logos, coming up with some new phrases to get on shirts and hats and stuff. That should be coming out soon. Here's the other thing. Shopify made a deal with YouTube. I'm going to be able to integrate this store into my YouTube channel. So when it comes live, you're literally going to be able to see my stuff offered right there. It's going to be beautiful. So that is coming. Stay tuned. Anything else, Pat? We have gone 3 hours, 36 minutes. Is there anything you feel we didn't cover?
No, I think we did a pretty good job tonight, John. And my eyes stayed open the whole time.
It's a big benefit, actually. You did very well. I'm happy for you. Even when the power turned off, you could still see. Good job, buddy.
That was Alexa's fault.
That's hilarious. I can't believe that, dude. 1991. Here's Pat in the living room. Clap on. Clap off. Clap on. All right. Here's the deal. What is this? Oh, I like this. Check this out, Pat. John's rants need to be quoted and trademarked. Well, it's tricky.
I don't know.
I don't know how you.
Irish, I don't know how you.
University tried to sue me 1 minute later, so that didn't go well.
Did they really?
Oh yeah.
Did they really?
Oh yeah.
They tried to. The university did.
I got the trademark approved by the United States government, showing that it was totally in clear standing and did not infringe on anything. That trademark went live for 1 minute on the government database. 15 minutes later, their lawyers were emailing me, and I had to have a tough discussion. They do not think I could use a cursive Irish that infringes upon their trademark, apparently.
Where did that? Is it over? Are you good?
It's over. I figured it out, but whatever. I don't want to go there, but that got tricky.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't go well.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah, they told me that a cursive Irish in the football field, in the football sphere, is something they have the rights to. Always, nothing. Regular Irish, nothing. Cursive script Irish, they're saying they have the trademarks to that. Anything in the realm of football. And they know my podcast was that. It went live 15
and
minutes
they
later,
they jumped
emailing
on it. They jumped on it.
Yep. And you could fight it, and then what? You go broke and you're blackballed, but you win. What are you gonna win?
They'll they won't give a kid an NIL deal, but they'll fight you for millions of dollars.
Pat, there's a government database. And the day it went live on the database,
I know how it works.
15 minutes later, man, they must have an alert that if anything in that sphere gets registered, they look at it. 15 minutes, and they were emailing me. It was unbelievable. And I told the lady, I said, do you guys own the word Irish? Like, what if I'm from Ireland and I'm Irish? You don't own the word Irish.
Right.
And she goes, cursive script Irish. In the football world, we own that. And that's in the world you're in. You got to back out of that trademark or we're coming at you. Wow. So I lost all the money. I paid the lawyer to do all the trademarking to protect my brand, and I had to rescind it. I had no other option.
So for the 85 people that are still left, you gotta drop some super chats for John to pay for that lawyer.
Yeah.
Let's come on, see some $5 hollers.
And you know what I did, Pat? I went back to that lawyer. I said, way to go, dipshit. The number one thing I told this lawyer was, before we got started, was the number one reason I need you is to make sure I'm not in violation of anything that's going to get me blacklisted over there. I want no issues, no friction. I said, I'm not moving forward with this unless that clears. 2 weeks later, I did all the research. You're good to go, buddy. I pay him all this money, and then I got screwed on the back end. I mean, it is what it is. All right. Before I expose any other Always Irish secrets, we're going to end the show.
Yeah. Real quick programming note. I don't know if you're planning to do this next weekend, but I am not going to be suspended. I am going to be on a golf trip. I'm out of town. Can't do the show.
Suspended. Suspended. Expelled. All right.
John has never suspended me.
Nope.
He just didn't talk to me for 3 days.
He suspended himself after the last one. It was fine. It was fine.
Look at that. The $5 hollers. Adam,
they love the $5 holler. Look at that, Pat.
Adam Dowling. I got beer to drink. Where's your $100?
Oh, God. You still owe Adam's wife $100 from last time, buddy. Okay. All right. For real, though, Pat, this was outrageously fun.
John,
this was an amazing night.
I had so much fun tonight.
Yeah.
I had so much fun tonight, and I'm going to actually remember this one.
Yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. Honestly, though, everybody who spent a Saturday night here, really appreciate it. All the comments, all the donations, everybody who called. Like, this is building some momentum. And when we get in the season, this is going to be outrageous. Because we got this momentum in May. Wait till it's late August or September.
Just wait till
this is gonna be it.
Just wait till Notre Dame loses to Central Michigan and John and I do this.
Way to bring down the entire night, Patrick. Wow, way to let us all down at the end. All right, everybody. That's going to be it. Happy Mother's Day. Treat your moms right. Treat your wives right.
Absolutely, guys. Treat your moms. Everyone, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for being here. There's nothing I would rather be doing on a Saturday night than this. This was fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Be safe. Have fun. Have fun tomorrow with your family. We'll talk to you. I'll put something out tomorrow morning, and then we'll be live again Monday. Have a good one.
Take care.